I've got to get up super early anyway.
Yeah,
so
dog.
I'll be getting up. I'll go to sleep pretty much as soon as I get home after. Oh, but I gotta fucking set up my goddamn shit.
What shit?
My hard drive and whatnot.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, I mean, that shouldn't take long, man.
No.
You just plug it in, you'll be away.
I'll plug it in and then I just won't transfer shit across and just
All right. You start transferring, then fall asleep,
Yeah.
man. You don't have to be there. You don't have to watch the
No, I just want to
Comes
set up my.
like 3?
2, 3.
The thing is, I completely forgot. Like, I got up and
I'd have
watched
to go back to sleep.
summer day, or most of day 4. In fact, all of day 4.
Yeah.
But I fucking forgot to put in my goddamn fantasy picks.
Oh, dude.
So now I'm like,
no.
what's the point of doing it if I'm not gonna?
Yeah,
like,
I missed
do
the
it?
first
and I
2
was doing
days.
so well as well.
I haven't done any of them.
Yeah.
I'll do it for the last 3.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I
I'll
want to
do it
get
for all
my
of them.
my bracket predictions in, man. I'm pretty
Oh yeah, I wanted to get
Same.
the bracket
So
predictions
that's
in.
that you have to do it by opening ceremony.
Yes, I
Something
presume
like
so.
that, yeah.
At least judging by I was today. I was looking at the bracket and I was thinking to myself, man, I wish there was some way to do your predictions. And I was like, fairly confident that's in the compendium, right? Of course.
Yeah,
Compendium,
surely.
I'm just an idiot, yeah.
I can't. It's almost at 24 mil. now.
That is insane,
They're
man.
such
ridiculous.
bastards,
Yeah,
man.
dropping a crate right at the
The
fucking
no,
end.
but the thing was, it was. I was watching it like on the last day of the group stage thing, and I'm like, even before they had announced the thing, it was 100% going to go over 24 mil
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it was at 23 point, I think something like 5 or something before the start of the day, and at the end of it, I looked and it was like 23.6 something, and I'm like, well, it's going
Yep,
up
it's
that
going up.
fast.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
That it doesn't matter. It's
I said 22 to 23, thinking like that's pretty.
That was the,
Well,
the
yeah.
thing is that was
Standard.
the accurate estimate, right?
Yeah,
At the start of the tournament, looking at last
but last
year's,
year was 23 something. They
Oh,
always
was
had
it?
to, yeah.
Last year was 22 something.
No, last year was 23.
Okay.
Well, I went
Yeah.
23 to 24, thinking that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nice place for it to sit.
Yeah.
I'll be damned if they take those points away
Man, if
from
it
me.
gets, you're going to get 25?
If they
Oh,
get
100%.
25,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I reckon it'll get to 25 actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
When does it stop, man? When does it?
Fuck
Are we
man.
the billionaires?
$25 million.
I don't get.
I just
Yeah.
love how much money Valve makes from this.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking
bullshit.
sitting there sweating.
Did you see the whole thing? It's like they still have the same fucking chairs and thing as like the last international.
really?
Or something. Or it's
How,
not that.
how dare they not get new fucking chairs?
No, it's not
Those
like the same
bastards.
chairs, but
Couldn't
like
afford that
they
shit.
just basically on the panel, at least during the I'm sure they'll change it for the main event thing, but on the panel during the regular the group stage, it was literally just them sitting on like a couple of chairs and have a coffee
I
table
saw.
sort of
I
thing
saw.
in front
It
of
looked,
them.
it looked
Like
pretty
ghetto.
low
Like,
budget.
Don't even
Yeah.
have fucking laptops or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's all the budget is put into the main event.
Yeah, let's
I
hope
assume
so.
so, yeah.
There's going to be like
You know,
strippers and
They're
light shows
already
and shit.
they're already working on the Arcana, man. That's
Oh,
why.
God.
You know, it's putting the hours
Is it?
in.
Oh, we don't know.
Don't know. It's going to be announced.
Got to be Rubik.
It's going to be announced.
Gotta be.
during.
You all
It's
voted
apparently.
for
Oh, I voted for
Rubik.
Rubik,
Good
of course.
people. Yeah.
Someone was one of the
Valve employees.
no.
Casters.
One of the casters was saying they talked to Bruno during the group stage, and he comes up and he was like, "Yeah, the winner's now only winning by like 0.028% or something like that."
It's tiny.
Yeah.
The difference is
I can't believe it. I mean, ultimately, that's the whole point of
Yeah.
this sort of like, yeah.
to divide down the middle, right?
The thing, okay, I'm a spark of hope or whatever, if Pudge wins, I won't mind that much because that means he can never win in the future.
Yeah, but then we're going to have to
I
play.
still want Rubik to
No,
win.
you're right.
Yeah.
We've got to fucking get rid of this cat. We got to do it somehow, man. It's got to happen, right?
No, man.
Yeah.
I just don't want to play with nothing but Pudges
No,
for
exactly.
like
yeah.
months.
But that always
Bad
happens
for the game,
anyway.
yeah.
That's the thing.
No, that's true.
I
It's
feel like
it's
that
just going to be
happens.
fucking
Yeah.
particle effects anyway,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
Yeah.
It'll just be nothing. It'll be a mist, a red mist is
Yeah,
what
it's
we'll
more that
see.
I just hate Pudge.
Yeah, fair enough,
It's like
man.
my
Fair
least
enough.
favorite character.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's that's the breaks, man. You know,
Yeah.
shit. And that's the podcast. That's right. Hello,
wrap it up.
everyone. Yeah,
done.
We're done. And see you later. No, it's episode number 70 something. I'm going to say 2.
73.
I don't know, man. We'll find out later. You know we don't. You're listening to this podcast.
73. I'm putting my money on 73.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
let's go.
I want to see it's.
Are you willing? How many battle points are you willing to predict?
Oh,
yeah,
500.
I'm gonna. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
I'm gonna
big,
put in
man.
mine on
Bonus
72.
fucking coins down. No, I'm gonna say 73 too. Fuck it. Sure, it's 73.
No, I'm gonna say 72.
Good. Okay, it
All
might
right.
be 72. Simon's the sanity check. We gotta have
Yeah.
someone here with
Yeah.
their feet on the ground.
I bet you
really
it ends up being 71.
It could be, man. If it does, maybe it's episode 69. We
Who
don't
knows?
know.
Who knows?
Definitely
No,
episode
69's
69,
lost
yeah,
to
it's-
the archives,
yeah,
man. It's gone.
Yeah. Well, it's to be recorded.
It is
to be re-recorded.
re-recorded.
Yes. it's, you know,
No. Okay, well, we'll just all say it a few times and be like, "Welcome to 71."
Yeah, there
you're
we
right.
go. And
You're
then
right.
just
do
put it in.
72 and then 73, and we should be fine.
Yeah, we'll just edit it out. It's fine.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that.
The
Say
power of
the numbers,
editing.
Dan. Say it right now. 71, 72, 73.
69.
Yeah.
Done. We're
71.
good.
Bingo.
Yeah, sweet. Just number generated that shit. You'll be fine. Yeah, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's the podcast. We're back again. It's been a while.
It's a legit
Yep,
podcast.
boys are back in town.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can tell by our dulcet tones.
Indeed, and fresh intonation. It's so fresh.
Mm.
I'm joined by James
Pop.
Carmen,
Pop, pop, pop.
the poppin' man, the poppin' fresh dog himself.
Popping hard.
He's always poppin'. I gotta say.
I'm like popcorn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pop and Lockin. Fun fact, named after him. Don't he likes to
Originated in 1990.
yeah, he used to be a police officer putting people away. Simon McDowell,
Hello, everyone.
how are you?
I'm all right.
Are you
Yeah.
are you popping fresh today? You feeling good?
I'm feeling all right. My
that what
leg
that
is
means?
still. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How is your leg?
It's better than before.
Man, we're old. Dan and I was
Yeah.
talking about this before. Like,
Yeah.
this shit used to happen like when you were kids and you just walk it
Yeah.
off, and now you're like,
Oh,
next days,
this
next
was
weeks.
pretty bad though.
That's
My
pretty
God.
bad.
Have you seen the photo, Dan?
No.
I'll show you quickly. It's not as bad anymore. You can.
We got our podcast image.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
We
This
just
is-
got back on iTunes, guys.
This is how it is now,
Oh
Dan.
damn!
And
Yeah.
my ankle is still pretty swollen.
For
but
the
that's the
audio
kick,
medium,
but-
it's quite
but-
red.
Yes.
yeah, that is not.
Like a clown's
That is
nose.
nothing, Dan, compared to this.
Yeah, let's see this gore. I want to see
Top
it.
that shit.
You guys see
Do
the image of the guy? There's a
Yeah.
the sea lice.
Yeah.
Flesh-eating
Yeah.
sea lice off Melbourne
sounds
coast.
terrifying, though.
It's fucked up. This guy's leg is bleeding
Flesh-eating
a lot,
sea
and it wouldn't stop bleeding because there were anti-clotting agents like leeches.
like
have.
leeches, yeah.
Yeah, and he just had he couldn't see the cuts. They were so small. It's just bleeding
They're like
profusely.
pinpricks.
Fucking
apparently.
terrifying.
It is. Don't go in the water ever again.
No, I'm staying out of the water, man.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to see that shit.
That is how it looked
Oh
a
my
couple
god!
of days
that
afterwards.
looks like
That's
looks like
looks
a-
like you got beaten up, man.
you know what that looks like.
Thanks.
That looks like the leg of a corpse.
Yeah.
So I'm glad
that
he's
was
still
from
alive.
one kick.
Jesus,
Yeah.
Was he a truck? Was he
He was
actually
he was
an
a
anthropomorphized
large. He was
truck?
like the same height as you, but
Jesus,
like
man.
just built.
Oh damn, man, that's a
It,
worrying
it
thought.
hurt. But otherwise, I'm great.
it was a stud kick as well, wasn't it?
No, it
Oh,
was
okay.
like he was going for a shot.
Fuck, man.
Like he was following through with his
Yeah.
foot, and I got the ball in time. And
Like,
then he
if
just
it was a
collected
stud,
my
if it was a
leg.
stud kick, he would have just gone straight through Simon's leg. You
Yeah.
know, he just slipped through the hole like into another dimension.
Did he say sorry?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, I mean that's just good sport.
And I got up and walked it off.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
that
then
like
later
a, like a,
collapsed.
Later on, limped it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I suppose when the lactic acid like stops
Yeah.
doing whatever it does.
I still
Yeah.
had the
being
adrenaline.
hot,
stops lactating.
stop-
I believe.
yeah.
I believe that's what
just,
it does.
Just
yeah.
becomes acid, then you're like,
Yeah.
I'm in trouble, man. Yeah, that's rough. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm good.
Well, I'm glad you
good.
made it here. You know, so many
Congratulations.
flights of stairs to get up here. It's a tough one.
Mm.
Has your new place got a lift?
It does. It's really weird
Fuck
lift
yeah.
though. It's like quite long and narrow.
Do we
Yeah.
at least not have to press so many buttons?
Yes.
Oh
God.
shit! Yeah.
Also, it's really weird. The bedroom is like on the bottom
Yeah.
and like on the ground floor, so you can kind of walk into the bedroom. Maybe I don't know.
What do you
You'll
mean?
find out.
Like, I presume you always want to be able to walk into your bedroom, though.
Yeah, yeah, but like from the outside.
He has to drop
Oh,
in.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drop
fair
in
enough.
from the roof.
Yeah. So it's a climbing
The
thing.
skydive.
So
yeah.
kind of like
Sounds
mine.
great.
There's a front door.
There's like a
Like
second
extra door.
You'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Surprise.
He's got a dungeon, I think. Yeah, he's got like some kind of
For
a.
my handcuffs and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. You got to keep them somewhere. You can't keep them on a shelf. You know.
No,
It's just
no.
yeah.
It is quite dungeon-like though, because it's like underneath. Like it's on the ground, but it's at the bottom of the building.
Yeah.
So it's like for all intents and purposes,
Does it
it
have,
is a
does it have
basement.
cages hanging from the ceiling? You know.
Soon.
Yeah. Cool. Good. Yeah.
That's what the
The
removalists will be doing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm. Speaking of which, Game of Thrones. You
Haven't
haven't
seen
seen
it?
it?
Haven't seen it.
I've started watching
Shut your
the
mouth.
newest episode.
Okay, cool. Well, I haven't seen the last one, but all I have to say about it is that apparently people, of what I've seen,
People are losing their minds over
Pretty-
the slightest.
Is that because there's a big old thing?
I don't
that
know.
I
happens?
assume so. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I've got guesses, but I don't want to like, cause I don't know, but I don't know
Yeah.
what you don't know, so
I
I
know
don't.
nothing.
And also,
yeah,
Paul's
he
Snow,
knows
yeah.
nothing.
John fucking Snow,
Jon
piece of
Snow.
shit. I've got to say though, it is definitely starting to tick boxes. There's a lot of things
Yeah.
about it which are very much like, okay, this is transitioning into more and more
TV
very much
show,
written by but. Where the last season felt like halfway between
Yeah,
them
book
trying
and
to do the book
show.
and trying to do the
Yeah,
show,
yeah.
and the clash was really bad. It's
Yeah.
very much now more
Just the
into
show.
just the show.
Yeah.
But it's like
But it's a good show.
It's imagining. I just look at it as like, okay, if Game of Thrones was like a big budget Hollywood movie, and it's such a good big budget Hollywood
Yeah.
movie, it's not. You can't expect the same level of writing to the book.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a couple of
it's
points
fucking
where
HBO, man.
yeah,
It's always gonna be good.
They toned down the sex position a bit, you know. It's it was good, like a bit, I say. Like,
Okay.
That's
I mean-
still
I mean,
sex.
there's still sex.
I suppose
All the
like
time, always.
ultimately it's not super important. Like it's kind of it's at the scene of what kind of world it is. Now it's
Yeah.
like
It's a world in which people fuck.
Yeah,
it's
people-
like
people
that.
have sex.
Yeah.
It's like
People have sex.
just sex.
Sometimes they're related. We don't know, you know.
Sex and death. That's
Yeah,
really
exactly.
all it is.
That's true.
Blood and fucking wine, man. But
No,
yeah.
I'm really gonna watch it. I don't know. I'm so close to finishing House of Cards,
No, fair enough.
So-
man.
Finish House
do
of Cards
that.
first, then yeah.
and then I'll get on the Game of Thrones bandwagon. But apparently Sense8 is really good. Have you guys watched
It's
that?
I've
been
heard.
cancelled, man. Don't even try.
No, I know, but apparently it's really good.
One season?
You're just setting yourself up for
Yeah,
failure.
I know.
One
What's
season?
2 seasons?
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
man,
no.
it might be
It's
renewed.
disappointing, man. Like, why do they fucking cancel good things?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
well,
true.
Cunts.
apparently there's a couple of Netflix shows that they've been acting pretty quickly because you know
Yeah,
how they're pumping out so much stuff that is
Yeah.
also equally as keen to be like, nah, I'm done. That's
I'm
it.
interested
Game
in seeing that new Ozark or or whatever. It's the
Yeah,
one with
yeah.
Oh, I
Jason
did see
Bateman.
that. Yeah.
Apparently he directs it as well,
Oh,
or
cool,
produces
really?
one of the two,
Man,
and
he's-
acts.
He's
you know.
weirdly old now, right?
Yeah,
it's weird
really
because
old,
because
yeah.
I've been watching Arrested Development recently as well, and that was 10, 12 years ago now, I
Yeah,
think.
something like that.
And so you see him, and he's got extra. He's starting to look more like
He looks like an old man.
He
Yeah.
does, yeah. He should be in prison, bawling and holding his own religion.
Prison?
But
Prison?
yeah, he should
Yeah.
be in prison. I'm
All
I'm
old
referencing
people
Arrested-
should be in prison.
That-
Being
Jamie.
well,
old is a crime.
That's what retirement villages are for. I'm fairly confident, right?
Yeah,
There's
pretty much, yeah.
prisons that are a little bit more
low
comfortable.
security prisons.
The ultimate low security because the inmates can't,
That's true. I feel like a little bit though, especially as you get older, because when you try to leave, the security guards are like, "No, Mr. Hughes, turn around and go back inside." And you're
I'll
like,
be like,
"Oh, okay."
Yeah. I mean, I'll do it, but I won't be happy about it. You know,
I don't wanna do this.
I'll grumble my way out
Although
of here.
I reckon our retirement homes will be fucking baller.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be like,
Hey man, that's the hope, right? Yeah.
well, surely by then, like some sort of neurotechnology will exist, and you'll just plug
Inject-
yourself into the computer.
Just be like, I'm
Fun.
gonna be an animal.
That's
then.
eventually what retirement villages will be. They'll just be your brain in a jar.
In a jar,
Yeah.
powering the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, someone's got to do it, man. Those cat memes aren't gonna,
No.
aren't gonna post
In the-
themselves.
The
More
hamster's getting
hamsters.
tied on the
Yeah,
wheel.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. shit.
Replace it. No more animal cruelty, please.
Yep.
So it's been a couple of weeks since we've done a proper podcast. So there's been a lot of shit that's gone down, but we'll
has
we'll
been a lot
cover
of
some of
shit.
it. There's been but like more importantly, how have you guys been? How you feeling, general? I mean, I know
Yeah.
your state of your leg, Simon.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Jamie,
Just
how's the
that,
state of your body?
Good. I'm back to normal. I
You're
think.
back to
Nice.
normal. Great,
Which is
man.
nice. Yeah.
It's
I'm
always
like-
it's always a nice thing to
Yeah.
celebrate normalcy, right?
I know,
Have that
but-
moment of like, whoa, I'm good.
I think it's like because this is just the nature of like being sick and then getting better. It takes a while to get better again, but then that slow transition from like I feel like 90% to 100% is so fucking slow.
Yeah.
That you don't even realize.
Yeah.
But like so I'm in that standard state that we all live our lives where you're like I feel fine
Yep.
and whatever.
Sure. I'm
But-
neither good nor bad.
Yeah.
Everything is great and terrible.
Neutral. I really hope that video is still
It is,
even as well. Yeah.
At least last time I looked at it.
I
was
check
just-
it every now and then.
I check it hourly just to make sure. Try to upset.
Sometimes
the
I
balance.
fuck it up and then come back like a day later and someone's corrected it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
yeah,
yeah.
Good job.
I remember I thought I was the first person to find that. I was like, oh my God. And I posted it to Reddit. People were like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? We've seen this before. I'm like, I'm submitting original content, guys. Trying my hardest.
It's like my friend at work like linked me like is it Christmas.com and I was
Yeah.
like dude I fucking love that site and he's like yeah man it has a fucking API now.
Jesus. We need an API for ismorgancavedead.com.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're doing something wrong.
Yep.
Just linked it straight back to him.
World's stupidest API.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Is it Christmas? I need to find out
Yeah.
on all my apps.
Just build it straight into the language. Yeah. What about you, Simon? What's been going on, man? You feeling good? Feeling
Just-
fresh?
Yeah, feeling generally pretty good. Otherwise,
Health
work a lot.
check-in.
Yeah,
Oh, you went to the doctor, didn't you?
Me?
Yeah.
Did it? Probably, yeah. When?
I went to the doctor.
Oh, I went to the doctor this afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Oh,
see
yeah,
my nose right
before.
now? See how it's all red?
No.
You can't really.
Too much
but-
coke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been snot. No, I went and saw my doctor because I had like these all skin tag
Punch
things.
you in the face.
Oh, skin tags. Yeah,
Yeah, but
bloody
it's,
annoying.
it's effectively like a
know
a
what
little
skin tags
wart, right?
Yeah.
And so he, like, this particular doctor just loves using cryo spray to
Oh,
get rid of
yeah,
these things.
yeah.
So he's like,
Good on
oh,
him.
yeah. Bust it out. Just like, I'm just like, oh, it burns. And now it's numb. So I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's.
That maybe that doctor shouldn't have been a doctor.
No, man, he's good.
Seems like a bit of a
he kept me alive.
Are you
man.
sure he's not Mr. Freeze?
Hey, you know what? He might be in disguise. We haven't heard from him for a while, so he's he hasn't dropped any puns lately. But
It's disappointing.
I'm not saying he's not going to.
I've never had the freeze.
The freeze.
Neither. Yeah.
It's good, man. It's very satisfying on the other end. If you happen to be someone who likes,
Oh,
a little bit gross-
freezing.
not quite. It's like, say for example, you might if you pop a blackhead or something like that and the stuff comes out. I'm not sure if you're one of those people who, as gross as this is, maybe is like, oh, that's a little bit satisfying. Maybe not. I'm not going to ask you to
I
comment.
don't. Yeah. either.
I don't.
You're
have
not.
a
You're not
preference.
necessarily going for it.
No.
Yes, but
No.
if you're like someone who is into that in any way, shape, or
People
form,
are into it, man.
It's
Like,
such a weird.
I don't know. Like,
it's
Is
not
it a
quite
fetish?
Yeah, I
don't know.
I wouldn't say, but
like, yeah, I don't know. Like, do your girlfriends like doing it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
100%, man.
like,
Yeah.
I had like a pimple, and she's like,
Yeah.
oh, "Can I
Yep.
pop it?" And I'm
Yep.
like,
I guess.
What's your obsession
Yeah.
with this? It's like, oh, it's just so satisfying. It's like, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's on my face.
I mean, I quite like that. I'm
Yeah,
like, cool.
fair
Yeah,
enough.
this is great. I mean, it's like it's a weirdly satisfying thing, I guess, to be like, that was in me. That's disgusting.
That's true.
It's
I
now
want the
out
ones
of
that
me.
like splatter all over the mirror.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's disgusting. No, those are heavy.
Yeah.
Those are real. Yeah. But I speaking of like things not at all related to this, but somewhat
Splatter?
related to splatter. Not going to go for Splatoon. As
No.
easy as that is.
No.
I just
on.
want to tell you about because on the weekend I had a little bit of an adventure. I went to
Oh yeah.
I went to a place called Sydney Float, which is sensory deprivation tank
Oh,
experiences.
sick.
Yeah. So I got gifted this for my birthday, and I was, I suppose, a little bit trepidatious going into it. So I'm like, okay, this is weird, man. I've never,
this is
I've
floating
never,
in the tank.
I've never been in a tank. I've never been in a sensory deprivation tank. This is going to be a strange experience. So I went there at like 10 o'clock in the morning, as one does, and you walk in there, and there's a big pod, massive, like wide enough for me to be in and long enough for me to be in, generally speaking, and there's all this cool light in there. There's a shower. Person walks me through the process, then closes the door. There's music playing. I've got earbuds on. I have a shower. I get into this thing. You have to get all the way naked, of course, because sensory deprivation tank. And I got in there, and for whatever reason, I wasn't ready for the fact that I was going to be floating because it's highly
so much
salinated
salt.
water.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
sick.
you are just floating on the water, and I was like, "This is cool. I feel like I'm flying." Anyway, so I got in there, and initially I was like, "Am I going to get claustrophobic in here?"
Yeah, I feel like I would.
I thought I was going to as well, but they've gotten it's quite tall. It's not too close.
quite
It's not like
it's
being in
quite
an
spacious,
MRI
yeah.
thing or anything.
Yeah, okay.
So you get in there and there's cool multicolored lighting coming from the water, and so eventually they close the lid, and I get in there. I'm nice and comfortable, and then eventually after a while I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to turn the light off. I turn the light off. You put your head beneath water, and they're pumping music through the water to the start.
Oh,
And
cool.
with the fact that you've got earbuds in, you can hear the music quite clearly, and you sit there, and it's just very relaxing because I didn't have to. There's a lot of muscles you might use in your upper back and your neck that you don't realize you're using even when you're lying down on a surface. And it was the first time that
Thought about it.
you could just relax them in a way, and it was quite a cool experience.
So you listen to music the entire time?
No, it's like the first 10 minutes, and then it slowly fades out. And
It's just silence.
I was going to
Yeah.
say because it's
It's a
sensory
sensory- yeah,
deprivation.
exactly.
precisely, yeah.
Why
And
they're playing music.
but the first thing that really, the first thing
I guess
that
you want to ease the transition.
Yeah.
You do, yeah, because it's a weird thing because I suppose I'm not going in there expecting to hallucinate vividly, but I went in
No.
there and was wondering what it would be like. But the first thing that really hit me was the physical sense of deprivation of sense. My body lost its sense of place very quickly because you're floating in water at the same temperature as you, so you don't feel it, and you are. I only had probably about 10 centimeters, maybe 15 centimeters all around me before I would hit the wall. So quite regularly, my hands or my foot would touch the wall of this thing, and that would break the illusion. But I kind of floated off the wall after the water had settled, and I was floating there in the center of the tank, and I felt like my body was rotating slightly, like to the left.
That's weird.
And I was like
That is weird.
expecting to hit the wall, right? Because I just thought that was the trajectory my body had. And for about 15 seconds, I'm expecting to hit the wall, and it never did. And I just constantly kind of felt like I was moving. It was a very weird experience. It was
awesome.
It was very cool. But yeah, and then just kind of sat through the experience, and I suppose I've never done meditation before, but did, because I suppose that's what it's meant for, right? It's the ideal meditating location. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to try to do this meditating thing, focus on your breathing and try not to get distracted. And that's fucking hard, man. You know how hard it is to stop
Yeah.
yourself from getting distracted? Almost impossible. I was sitting there thinking about cars and shit. I'm like, oh, why am I thinking about cars? I don't care about cars.
That's the thing. It's hard to think of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. I'd equate it to trying to plug holes in a boat with your fingers. It's just like you pop one and then another hole appears kind of thing. But honestly, it felt really good after getting out of the tank. It was weird.
Okay. How long was it?
About an hour.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
And
did it feel like an hour? Did it feel like more? Did it feel like less?
felt like an hour, I
Okay.
guess, but
That's
it
solid hour.
definitely
good.
confirm it's an hour. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it felt like just about the right amount of time.
Okay.
But especially towards the end of it, I felt very refreshed and very good.
Did
Awesome.
you? Because obviously
Very
it's
good.
pitch black.
100%. Yeah, dark
Did you
room inside. a dark
see
room.
any like hallucinations, if you will?
Well, there's no difference between when you close your eyes and you open your eyes. And so I don't know about you, I kind of always have a static over my vision. When I close my
Yeah,
eyes, you can
yeah.
see
Yeah.
a certain amount of static, right?
Yeah.
So that was constantly there, and after a while began to, be easily interpreted in the same way that you can look at clouds and maybe
Yeah,
see
makes
things.
sense.
But,
Yeah, cool,
but it
cool.
wasn't like I'm like, oh, there's a fucking
Yeah.
rolling apple in the dark or anything,
No, no.
nothing crazy.
Yeah, apples in the dark.
But yeah, so that was a pretty cool experience, I got to say. I walked out of there feeling really good. So
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely like to do it.
Yeah,
Just from
same.
my understanding, they're quite expensive.
yeah, I mean, I got gifted it, but
Yeah.
I presume it's not the cheapest of experiences.
But
But
it-
definitely
yeah.
something worth trying at least
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
once.
trying.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.
It's weird, that's for sure. But
Does look
yeah,
weird.
That's
It's
my
like,
weekend
It's a
experience.
big old pod dome
Yeah.
thing.
I kind of want one in my house, just
Yeah.
hang out in
Same.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lots of salt.
yeah.
Just sleeping that all the time.
Yeah, you totally could though.
I totally know what you mean though. Like I feel like it would take me a long time to get past the fact that I'm not gonna like die in that pod.
Yeah.
But did you do the thing like where you're like, hello? I would have done.
I didn't speak because I felt like maybe what if they have like a mic in there just in case or something. I didn't want to rush in. Like, are you okay? Like, yeah, 100%. I probably would have done.
You should have played the penis game.
Yeah. But like, I have to admit, like, there was a certain amount of like tension and anxiety initially
Mm.
going into it because I'm like, it's weird, man. I'm in a pod in a dark room in another dark room. You know, it's just kind of.
And
a
you
little
paid
bit
money
freaky.
for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But no, like it
No,
was.
it sounds really cool.
You
Yeah.
know, very, very like I became acutely aware of my heartbeat. I could hear my ears ringing.
Oh shit,
The
That's the
food's there.
food.
I'm gonna get it. Hold on.
All right,
But
we'll
yeah.
take a quick pause while
Yep.
we get the food, and
Are we streaming?
we are streaming. But you know, for the podcast sake, we'll take a quick pause.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
That's a lot quicker than I thought it was.
I'm so excited for this food.
Same.
My back. But the actual meditation side of things, I've never like it's not a spiritual thing. It's
Yeah,
very much a mental training thing in terms of not letting your mind get distracted. But like,
I've heard really good things about
Honestly,
meditation,
but I just don't know how to do it.
Like,
I've tried, and I'm like,
just
I
literally.
don't know if I could be bothered because I don't think I'd be able to do it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
I think you have to get there.
it's not like you can do it immediately, and that's like over the hour, maybe right at the very end, because I was kind of kept getting distracted for 10 minutes and being like, oh yeah, let's try to do this thing again. By the end of it, like the final like 5 minutes, I felt like I did it for a couple minutes, but I felt just very focused, very relaxed. And then I got out, I just felt like it's cliche as fuck, and it's who knows how much of it is observational bias, but I felt very like
At peace.
with myself. Like
Did
to the
you-
point, like I didn't have a lot of internal like anxieties and stuff running through my head. I was just very relaxed.
Did you find it hard not to fall asleep? Like
No,
being in that?
Yeah, I
no,
feel like it
because
was.
I think
Yeah.
part of that's you could comfortably fall asleep in there, but the reason I didn't was because there was, I suppose, a certain amount of anxiety about this fact that I was
What?
like that claustrophobic.
Okay,
Like I was mentally at peace with it, but like I could feel my heart moving, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I think my heart's moving a bit quicker than it should. Like, the pace is a little bit
Yeah.
faster, and it was early in the morning as well, so I wasn't
Cool.
exactly tired. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, the whole meditation side of things, it definitely felt good. It's something I want to do again.
sick.
So, time that shit perfectly.
Yeah, I would definitely like to do it. As I said, like I don't know how much it is, but people have told me that it's not super cheap for what it is.
Well, I mean, I
But,
think
like,
it's like
obviously it's-
$60 a session or something.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. I don't know, something like that on the website.
I thought it was like hundreds.
Oh, no, not hundreds per session, but yeah, it's not. Again, it's not like a.
I was gonna see if we could actually see. I hate this.
Yep.
This shit is the worst.
Dude, Chromecast, man. I
I'm
honestly,
gonna get one.
it's
when
so
we go out.
good. Like I was like, I've got Splatoon set up and all that stuff.
Mm.
Having Chromecast and Netflix and the other TV. Hey man, how you going?
That's good, yeah.
Good, bud. Good. Thank you very much. Thanks for showing me.
And then
Yeah, I definitely do. You want to take this as well if you can? Yep.
There was a fumble last time for your delivery.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Was that? I mean, obviously, it must have been on the account.
There was what, sorry?
This is the last time we. Oh wait, the last time you got delivery here was all good.
I think so.
Yeah, it probably on this account it was like 2 hours. Took like 2 hours.
Oh, the time when I ordered that was
Yeah,
ages
it's
ago.
like I get in touch with the delivery driver. Actually, I'm the store manager. That's why I can't.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I may have spoken to you then. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
No, actually, I was off on that day. I
Okay.
just came to know. Just
Yeah, I
to
think
say
you
that.
called me the time after. Yeah, you called me the next day or I think
Yeah.
something like that.
Sorry about that.
No, that's all
good,
fine.
man.
No,
Shit
it's
happens.
fine.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
bye bye.
There you go.
He must have listened to the podcast now.
Hey, cool.
While we're watching ourselves live.
Yep.
Guys, get it.
I was just gonna mute it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Anyone want to eat and continue or?
Yeah, I just want to have a couple of bites first.
Oh my god. It's cheesy. That's the cheesy garlic thing, I think, or
Yeah.
just cheesy bread. I don't know.
Oh yeah. The pommes sauce? No, that's still fucking delicious. Oh yeah. No, that's a fucking shit.
So
So-
easy.
It occurs to me that we haven't been to the snow.
Mm.
I don't know, man. I just don't have time.
Yeah.
I know.
And I'm very sad about that fact. But I think the first free weekend I have is like the first weekend of September.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe real late season if we can squeeze it.
And I think Morgan's back tomorrow.
What?
Hey, speak to him.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Right, he was
I thought he was coming
back.
back to. Oh, he wants to get back. Okay.
No, I was talking to him, and he said that I was talking about like Saturday night, and he said he's thinking about coming back, and then he would like was thinking about like
That's the
you know
big one.
when to get in touch, like when to book his flights and shit, and I imagine he did Qantas or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the airline called him. It was basically like,
What? Yeah, we're sharing. Yeah.
yeah, we're sharing.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, Alan called him and was like, yo dude, you can pay like $700 and get like a direct flight back like next week or something, or you can pay $200 and get a one stop tomorrow. He's like, done.
Oh.
So I think he's just like, alright, packing bags and out of there.
He was
Good.
at Barcelona, wasn't he?
Yeah, Barcelona, I think. So yeah, he'll be back for next week.
Right on, man.
Crazy.
Cool.
And I think yeah, that means he'll be back for international and shit. So.
Okay, okay, okay.
Well,
I'm not. I'm not. I feel like I think you said this as well. He's feeling a bit like socially like fatigued. Yeah, I can totally understand that. Like, I mean, he's been gone for what, like 2 and a bit months or something. That's a good amount of time.
yeah.
And like when you're by yourself as well, like I have no idea how Lucy did for a year. But I guess she's that kind of person.
Lucy is very what's that?
Be the one, the prawn and chorizo one.
Combo. The
Oh, so
Sinners
interesting
combo.
though. Okay.
Well, he obviously it was probably
Probably saw
pretty
the note. Yeah.
bad. Did you have put a note this time? No, the last time.
Remember the time it was the bloody game of the
Game of the
year
Year,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. And I called up the whatever, and yeah, we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just odd though, because I ordered it again. I ordered from there like 2 weeks ago, because I was like, that's been
It
a while.
might be an
Big chance.
account-based thing, though, right? Did you do it on? No, you did it on your account.
I think that time we did order from the website.
Oh, that's probably why then. Because I
Ah.
usually do it right now, so maybe that does like a different thing. Huh, that's interesting. And we also ordered the big order again, so it's probably like, alright, those guys are there.
No wonder it came so quickly.
High priority delivery, huh?
Huh. That's fair enough. I mean, there was actually a reason, wasn't there? Why?
Oh yeah, it was the.
Well, he said that pizza oven wasn't working. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, why are you open? Why are you taking orders? It's part of your job, you know.
When your pizza oven doesn't work, you don't work.
The pizza oven and the computer. Oh no, the computer system was a different one.
Some other bullshit. So I presume Chloe's not going to be back before you leave.
No, she's back in like a week.
Oh really? Oh, there you go. Perfect timing. Is she hanging out or?
She I messaged her. I was like, hey, hate to do this before you're like traveling and shit, but I'm leaving at this date. And she's like, no, it's all cool. Because I gave her like 5 weeks notice.
Yeah.
And
She's leasehold, right?
and yeah, so I don't have to like do anything.
Has the other guy left or is still here?
He's still here, but he's looking for places as well at the moment.
okay.
Because obviously he has to leave and probably back in a week. But and it would be so perfect if it would be like, hey, we just want my ring.
Yeah.
He's looking for places with his friends.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, fair dues.
It's all happening.
What was that one again? I don't know, but it's good. There's rocket, there's tomato.
What's the pestle one? It's good.
That's the first one. And that's the ham and pineapple.
So this is the ham. Oh no, it is. Yeah.
I haven't tried the ham with the
It doesn't-
H and P.
it's nice, actually.
Dude, is that the official pizza break image?
Yeah.
Good shit.
No, it's pizza. That's legit. I didn't mute us either, so it's just like random rumblings in the background. This is good though. This is how it's good though.
Yeah.
I had this the other day and it was like this, and that's why I was like, I can do it again. Yeah, I remember when we got it last time. It was real bad.
Yeah.
Too greasy.
Yeah, like greasy and kind of cold and.
A sad experience all around. This cheesy bread is fucking wild.
Yeah. I am all about it.
I'm
Ready to get back into it?
Yeah.
I'll have
Sort
one
the
more
shit
slice.
out after.
And then yeah. I'm gonna put some of this lemon on my pizza.
Not good off, man.
I'll put it on this half of the pizza. You didn't mind that?
Yeah, no, go for it.
Embrace the lemon.
Or the
Lemons.
embrace you.
Okay. So good.
Man, that was good. Actually, yeah, can you give me? Just having the whole thing.
Might as well.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Do a drink taste test. Okay, Simon, how's the Sprite treating you today? Is it good? What's the fizz level out of 10?
90, I guess. You know, whatever.
90
That's
fizz.
that's a pretty big fizz number.
I mean, like, as in 90% of what it's supposed to be, or just like 90% all up? What are we talking about?
How many bubbles? is what I want.
What's a 10? Yeah, that's what someone's asking.
I don't know. It doesn't look like it is, but
The
I mean,
power of carbonated beverages.
yeah.
It's no solo.
All right. That was my last cheesy bite, I promise.
Ooh.
All right, one more sip. Drip, drip, drip.
I love this because you both have giant things.
We're giant men. Mine is more ergonomic for the hand. Look at this Fanta bottle. It fits perfectly. Look at this Nazi cola.
Nazi cola?
Invented by the Coca-Cola company to sell Coke to Nazis.
Ah.
Legit?
Legit.
Wow.
Legit.
Why?
Because they wanted to expand over into Germany and they couldn't have the same thing being drunk by the Allies and the Axis.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You wouldn't want to be associated with them Nazis, you know what I'm saying? But they love that Fanta drink and it's good, so it turns out.
Well, didn't the Americans, like, before they got involved, like, supply to both sides? Like,
I wouldn't be
just
surprised.
to
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
They
So
were like,
everyone just
Yeah.
have some of that sweet.
want some gun shit? You
And-
get some gun shit.
You can have some fighter parts and fucking whatever. All right. Okay. So we're back.
We're back.
And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back from our pizza break. It was good. Thanks for waiting in the chat. If you're waiting in the chat, if you're not, don't, fuck you. Just why aren't you in the chat? We're going to talk about games now, as is our annual tradition. On this day and date, once per year, we talk about the lovely digital entertainment form called Video Juegos. And there's been some games happening. There's been some shit going down between the Fanta image now on your screen and
I should probably get rid of that shit so they don't fucking.
sue us. What do you
Yeah.
reckon Fanta's gonna be like? You showed our fucking logo. Get that shit off the internet. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. It is YouTube we're talking about
Yeah.
here. Probably the fact that I accidentally hummed a song near the microphone. Like,
Yeah, we got banned for last
What
week.
was it?
Or whatever.
Banned or just.
Just
we got banned.
Yeah.
We're done. That's it. Game over.
actually,
I feel confident you did, man.
All right, cool.
Because
Sick.
I'm the catchment.
Okay.
I'm the catchment for that. I would have
Good man,
come
good.
back up there and mentioned it.
All right.
Admittedly, I also could have not done it. So let's find out.
Well,
When all the cheese holes in the Swiss cheese lineup.
yeah.
That's what they're called. The
delicious.
cheese holes. What do you think they do with the holes of the Swiss cheese?
Give it to mice.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
Or they just
what
release
creates
it as a second product. Like,
Called
the
cheese
donut
balls.
holes
Oh.
ones. It's just Swiss cheese holes.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
those
But I hate that fucking name. It's not a hole.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
What, a donut hole?
Donut hole. They're not holes, man. The
Are they-
holes.
is that what they call them?
Yeah.
Donut holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Are
not
they-
holes.
They're donut circles.
Yeah.
They're donut spheres.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
donut fillings.
Yeah.
They're well, they're not even fucking donuts. They're
That's
they're just bread.
I prefer churros.
Or is that cake? Is churros?
Donuts?
Would you say a donut is a cake?
Yes.
Would you say churro is a cake?
Yes.
Oh man, that's.
I mean, what's a cake
Type
really?
of dough, yeah.
Well, I'd
Guess.
say
I don't know.
I think a cake has to be soft.
A
It
donut
doesn't
is
have
soft.
to be. What about ice cream?
A churro
cake?
is soft.
Ice cream, that's soft.
You can get
You know,
hard
sure.
ice cream.
What about I'm sure there's hard cakes.
Yeah.
Well, there's like
Sure.
dense. There's
Well, like
dense cakes.
dense cakes. Yeah.
There's nothing that's like.
What about like a
churros could cut your mouth.
What about
No, they
they're
can't.
sharp.
They're
sharp
Those
dessert.
things are like fucking Captain Crunch mixed with razor blades.
Especially when they're hot and fresh.
Yeah. Or
But
even worse when they're stale.
what about a churro cake? Oh.
I'd
You
eat
can't
a
have a
whole
cake
set of
man.
churro
Session
stuff.
match.
I don't know, man.
But you just said it wasn't a cake.
Yeah, well, exactly.
So it's not a cake.
Well,
But then it is a cake. This is the
This is the-
paradox.
this is
Yeah.
the, this is the
paradox of the churro cake.
Time is going to stop.
Yeah.
If AI in the future listens to this conversation, game over.
Yeah.
Well, it's game over for the AI for a
They
number
try
of
to-
other reasons.
They
if
try to
they're listening
understand and
this.
they're like, they're about to complete their world domination. Then they listen to our podcast. and
Digital
just
digital
explode.
archaeology. They've got everything ticked off apart this one podcast. I've just got to ingest. No, nothing. No
And
dice.
we'll be praised as heroes.
Heroes.
Gods among men.
Speaking of gods amongst men, the fucking let's talk about some Pyre. Some
about
Pyre.
some Pyre.
Pyre.
Some video game by the makers of Bastion, Transistor, Supergiant Games. You know them. You love them. They're back. It's Pyre.
In
Sports
Pyre
ball.
form.
Sports ball.
Yeah, sports ball RPG.
Outside of
100% sports.
Yeah.
outside of sports ball RPG / point and click adventure game / Oregon Trail.
Mystery-ish as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, a bit mystery.
Yeah, I like that, man.
Yeah.
I like it's shit. Tell me what you like. Tell me your feelings about Pyre, without of course delving too much into the story building and stuff like that. But what do you like about Pyre? What does it hit you with?
Sort of everything, man. Yeah, it's beautiful. The sound track.
Sound is so from the beginning, right? So I've only played like maybe 40 minutes, half an hour.
Yep.
Probably playing just a little bit more than that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Don't
like
know.
you start the game and straight up, like already the music is playing in the background as you're reading like the intro, and you're like, this is some good shit.
This is a Darren Core, but definitely produced production.
Oh yeah,
That's right, produced production.
It does have a lot of like just in terms of its like mechanics to like playing through the standard sort of I guess not the mechanics of the game, but like the mechanics of the actual. I don't even know how to
Sports ball
describe
bit?
it. No, like not the actual game. Like
You mean the RPG side of things,
yeah, kind of.
like the storytelling.
Yeah, well, it just reminds me a lot of like Transistor, like you know how it's kind of got, and Bastion for that sense. Like it has, like that's how they do games. They've got your little hut thing, which is like the place you go to learn more about the world and the story. And there's a lot of like reading and text, and then like the voices where they're kind of like rah, 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 rah. They each have their own style.
yeah.
And like it's really nice, but it's very them. Like it's their
Yeah.
It's
style.
like I liked what they picked from previous games, because I think
Yeah.
that, like
I
from
agree.
this is a very different game from things they've done previously. Like obviously Bastion is like an isometric action game, rolling around, shooting enemies, using ranged weapons and close-up weapons to murder things with an interesting story. Transistor, different game again, very similar perspective, but very much a different battle system in that it was turn-based,
Yeah.
effectively, and it had a whole bunch like
It
obviously a
kind
very,
of mixes the two, really.
yeah. But this takes, I think it takes a lot of inspiration from those previous games. It also is like a massive dash of games like Oregon Trail. Really, I mean, like you can, like it's obviously a classic video game about
Yeah.
caravan
Going from
Don't-
here to there.
trying not to die of dysentery.
Yeah.
And it's very much focused around that.
Yeah.
It's like if you've played the Banner Saga, I say it's like that with less.
How much have you played of Pyre so far, Dan?
Probably around the 4 or 5
Okay.
hour mark.
All right. So you've gotten a bit into it.
I'm further in.
Because like I've got, like you're saying, the whole survival thing, I guess, I've only gone to like 3 different places.
Yeah.
And, like,
I've
on
only
the
gone
way,
to 2.
you get the choice of going to this way or this way, and you collect something for going that way. And then when you get to a place, it's like you can either train, you can search for stuff.
Yep. You've got downtime.
I've
yeah.
not actually
You're
been
not-
to anywhere you can do anything about that yet. So it's
You're not. When I say it's not, you don't have the. It's not survive. It's not like you have
Oh,
time
yeah,
to make you
yeah,
through the game. You can't
yeah.
really die during
Yeah.
this state. But like the world building is mostly carried throughout the RPG
Those
side
little
of
bit-
things,
yeah.
right? Like the interactions you have with people. But like on that, the world building in this is just as is the case with all Supergiant games. But it's just it's on point, man. It's really incredible. Obviously, you guys have only seen a certain amount, so I'm not going to speak any further than the stage that you're up to. But it starts really obviously it leans on the characters quite heavily, and you can probably tell quite quickly. Characters are real characters.
that
They're
first,
fleshed out.
the first just reveal of the characters.
Oh,
as
that's
well.
so cool.
When they
It
took
was
the-
amazing. Yeah.
So cool.
Like it's obviously the art style is simplistic in that it's
Yeah.
it's mostly still frames with but it's just got the right amount of that voice acting, the mumbled
Yeah,
voice
I love
acting.
that.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys met the shopkeeper yet?
No, not
Oh
yet.
my god! When
Yeah.
you do, let me know. There was a very cool moment, but I'll let you guys discover that. The side of the world, obviously, it's the blurb on the back of the box is you're an outsider, you're an outcast, and you are the one person who is a reader. You have the ability to read and write in this world. The ability
I love to think of that though. They can't read.
Yes, exactly. Right? Isn't that it's such an interesting
yeah.
narrative hook?
Yeah.
Because it places you it places you the player very much in the story immediately, right?
yeah.
You're the person making the decision, and everyone is referring back to you because you're this reader, considered almost a divine being because you can infer the text. And the text is literally, you have these books and it's like, okay, you can read this, cool, go here, do this, perform this. You are a chosen person to perform in these sacred rites, because the whole game takes place in this wasteland. You're in a very diverse and colorful at times and wacky wasteland. Not wacky is not the right term, but it's definitely strange.
Definitely diverse.
And
Yeah.
and you're trying to effectively get back into society because the rites serve as a passage for people who've been all outcasts for various reasons. If you
I'm assuming so. Like before you go on too far,
Sure,
like
sure.
do you have any complaints about the game?
so well,
I can't say that I
I'd
do
s-
so far.
like not majorly. I would say if I was to nitpick, maybe the pacing at the start might be. I liked it, but I can see how it would be a little bit slower for some
yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you're looking at Pyre as a game, like I really like that sports ball thing, and you're
Yeah,
expecting to have
yeah.
some story in between it. Not that at all. The sports ball side of it, as deep as it is, probably is like 20% of the game, and 80% of the time you spend is around character development, character
totally,
building,
yeah.
and
Yeah, I really
interacting
like that as
with
well.
these
That's very
characters,
cool.
and getting to know them and making
I
small
guess-
decisions.
My only thing from the actual sports ball bit I've played, I feel like it's maybe a bit too easy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I,
I've
I,
had that as
mean,
well.
obviously,
I'm sure
I haven't,
it's going to
I
get
haven't
much
played
harder,
the like multiplayer or
Yeah,
versus
I can
bit.
totally see where the multiplayer would be a lot of fun. though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I agree, and like I have to say, it definitely ramps up. I totally agree. First 1 or 2 rights you take part in, maybe 3 or 4, are a little slow, a little easy because you literally stand there, and on the default difficulty, the AI is like just running around against the wall and shit. You're like, I'm just gonna run it in
Yeah.
because
So in my experience doing that though, like I kind of assumed it was going to be hard, so I like started doing these like strats where I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to run up there and like throw back and lure them over here. But then I realized that they don't do that.
No.
Yep,
They
just
don't go
stand
into my
there.
strats. They just chase the ball
So-
and run at you. So I just get the little dog and run around. And
Dude, how good is Rookie, man? Rookie's
Yeah.
the bomb. I fucking
Yeah.
love that dude.
Yeah, he's cool.
Have you made any decisions about him yet?
The only one, like I've literally played for like 40 minutes. So like the only decision I had was choosing whether I wanted to go with his suggestion
Okay.
or
The big chick.
yeah, I can't remember her name. Jade?
Jorel,
Jorel?
Jorel,
Yeah, Jorel. And I went with her because I was like, that sounds like a better option.
Yeah.
And then when I talked to them afterwards, he was like, giving a bit of sass.
Yeah.
I was like,
From my understanding, it's hard to know when you're playing through it the first time, but from my understanding, and I don't know this for sure, there's a lot of potential different endings to the game. So I
Okay,
think
that's
this
cool.
is
That
this
makes
is
sense.
very
Yeah.
much a game where your
I
decisions
feel like
do
you can do
matter.
that.
You know,
I also do, like decision when you're saying that there's a bit where you talk to Jorel and she's like, "Do you find me scary or something?"
Yeah, and
Like,
I was
yeah,
like,
you
this
three
happened.
choices.
And I was
and
like,
that-
yes.
yeah, and then it's like she loses one hope. And
yeah,
I'm like,
isn't that interesting, right? Like how you like there was one where she it was a similar is that exact question. I said no, I'm not scared of her, and she actually gained a stat, but it was like
Yeah.
the equivalent of strength or anger or something. And I'm like, okay, that's fucking
That's
terrifying.
cool.
She
Yeah.
walked off. She's like, I obviously have work to do, and just slams the door behind. It's like, oh, fucking hell.
One of my favorite things so far though has been when you first find that extra character or the next character along the
And
way.
you get
Have you found? Okay, but
Cool concept.
very
Yeah.
cool. But I just love the. It's obviously not going to spoil much, but
Basically,
you
you
kind
get-
of get to choose the name.
You get to choose her name, right?
Yeah,
But
but and all of it is just a rhyming one.
it rhymes with hey, you know.
Yeah, but when you mouse over all the different choices, which is literally just a letter with the AE
yeah.
on the end,
Yep.
it's just like it says in a little text box. Oh, I feel like this could be a say or a. And you
Say
know,
or
maybe
a
it is
fae.
a fae.
Yeah.
She seems like she looks like a fae, but then on the there's
Very
a
last-
next page over, the very last one is Bay, and it goes, and
Bae.
it can't be that canon.
Yeah, the flavor text is like that can't
Yeah.
be right. That can't be right at all. But
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite nice. So that's
So I definitely chose Bay.
that flavor
100%.
that flavor text stuff is worth talking about quickly, which
Yeah.
is the
Mousing over just like the storyline.
yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
like okay.
highlighted words.
Yeah, so anything that you go through the story, it's mostly text based, and you know you read the text. The way they've built the world is very much like that's right. You do read the text. Breaking news coming here from WePress Play, your friends from WePress Buttons. But there are certain words that are highlighted. Any proper noun, I believe, is highlighted,
Yep.
and you mouse over it and it gives you background information on that people. So it's like, oh, and the Nightwings, and you're like, okay, if you
Who
want to
are
know
the
who the
Nightwings?
Nightwings are,
Yeah.
put your cursor over it. And it's like it's perfect because it allows you to take the story at a pace which you enjoy. So if you want to get all that detail, you can. If not, you can just blast
Yeah, just
through
skip
it.
over it. Yeah.
But I'd recommend you read that shit.
Yeah.
Read all of it because there's
interesting.
so much world building there,
Yeah.
and you feel like you're the person investigating it. You know,
Exactly. I mean, like, obviously, it's taking that thing of like you're the reader,
Yeah.
so we're gonna make you read.
Exactly, and
Like,
it's a really nice analog, right?
Yeah,
Pulling
no,
the
it's
whole
really
thing
cool.
together.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
and there's
The
so
game
much
of the reader.
information that you can pick up from it. You know, a lot of the Simon mentioned it was a mystery almost, and a lot lot of it is revealing
Yeah.
the state of the
Yeah.
world,
Well,
the
'cause, yeah, what
state
the
of the
fuck's
people
going
you're
on?
with, like,
Yeah.
and you know,
Like,
it's gripping.
So
stuff.
like after the first like real one, you talk to the guy who actually rescued you.
yeah, yeah.
What's his name? It starts with H.
Hambone. No, I can't remember his name.
HY something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Headwind.
Hedwin. And you can ask him a question. And the top question was like, you know, what did you? Because I started going through all
Yeah.
the things, and like it has descriptions of the characters, and it was like you still don't know why they were exiled.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I want to know that shit.
Yeah,
so
me too.
I asked, and he's like,
I'll tell you.
later.
Yeah, I had exactly the same
Yeah.
question, and I'm like, and then
I'm like, fuck you.
I expected it from RPGs training me that like, oh cool, there's 3 questions,
Exactly,
I can
I
ask
can
all
have
of them.
them all.
But it's like, all right, ask
Yeah.
him one question. He's like, yeah, come at me later, bruh.
Yeah,
and then
and,
leaves.
and it made me wonder, like, if you picked one of the like lesser big questions, maybe you would have answered.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
And again, I want to know how much eventually, not when I'm playing it, but eventually, how much do these decisions come into it? Because if there are all these different endings and like different decisions you can make about characters and stuff, it's you know, if I make decisions about like, given it's a Supergiant game, if I have to make decisions about someone living or dying, I'm gonna be pretty torn.
Yeah.
Because I already love all the characters in
Yeah.
the party, you know, and you know they only get more interesting and
You almost certainly will.
almost certainly, yeah. They
I
make it a tug of the
gotta
heart.
also say, goddamn, the narrator guy during Sports
Oh,
Ball.
Yes.
I love that dude.
voice acting is incredible.
I know.
Yeah.
right?
So
I know.
good.
He's so on point.
Yeah.
I want to know who he is. I've got no
the
idea.
voice
what the
sounds
deal is.
so familiar to me.
It almost sounds like it reminded me of someone out of House almost, but it's like it's like the derisiveness. Like I got you know how he's usually like, and these are the rights, and you will
Yes.
perform them, and then usually he's like, and I hope whatever, and usually he's like, I hope you die. One of them is like, usually I would wish that you fail, but in these guys' cases, just take him out. Just take him out. You're like, yeah, boy, it's gonna be great. But speaking of the actual sports ball, so we did divert away from the topic before I got to talk about it.
Oh, yes.
There is a point where it gets actually hard. So around
Cool.
the 3rd or 4th, maybe it starts
That's
ramping
cool.
up.
All right.
And so I had a moment of the AI starting to, because obviously the tool set they give you is very rudimentary at its base level. It's like, cool, you have
Sprint,
to,
pass,
you have a field
shoot.
around you. You can pass the
Yeah.
ball to other. You can only control one thing at a time. And if your aura touches them, they
die.
get banished for a set period of time and have to
Yep.
respawn. So it's simple. It's mechanically quite basic, but then all characters have maybe slightly different abilities. So some can
jump
jump,
higher,
some can
yeah.
do
Run
and they jump in
faster.
different ways.
so-
That's
They do
what
jump
I
in
like.
different
yeah,
Yeah.
some can teleport around and stuff. And some of the players on the enemy teams, because they're all set teams, right? They all have, you know, an actual team name, and they're trying to, for whatever reason, get out of exile. And they have different themes and different abilities. And I played these one guys. One of them, you know, they each have like a striker, effectively. And this one guy just zipped like just would zip it all across the playing field in a couple of seconds.
Wow.
And it
Wow.
became incredibly difficult. Like you always had to have someone
Defense.
on defense. But even then, they can jump over the person
Yeah.
and try to slam dunk it. And so already I've started having games where it's really quite intense, and I'm
that's cool.
playing strategically, and the game is doing like the game is running up to me, throwing the ball at me, so I lose my aura,
Yeah.
running into me,
me, yeah.
killing
I
them,
do that to
picking the
them.
ball
I
up,
love
and
that
then
shit.
dunking them. And I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
awesome.
what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like these guys are
That's cool.
bodying me, you know?
Yeah.
So it gets really good, it gets really deep, and it makes me wish for this to be an online game.
It's
Yeah.
not an online game.
Really
Oh, it's
does.
only
You can play
local
against
multiplayer.
friends.
You can play against friends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Or-
Like
like,
an esport.
it's
No,
it's
not yet.
local co-op only,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
right, it's a co-op game, but
Yeah.
the
It would be a
multiplayer
good
is
co-op,
fleshed.
good local game. Though.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should after we've
definitely.
all played it. I reckon
Yep.
because we're going to build up skills, and
Yeah,
I'm going
totally.
to
I
want
wanna
to
see how
like
people
I want
play.
to see how it goes because the teams that are in the roster, like you know, every team you play against, how they have different abilities,
Yep.
different characters. You can access all of them, full ability sets.
Oh, for
every
playing
item
in
in
the
the
versus?
game.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And
Oh,
you
sick.
can spec them and everything.
Okay.
You can
Oh,
go down
cool.
the path of creating your own team.
Yeah, definitely. I remember hearing about this game like well and truly before it came out, and that was kind of the thing, wasn't it? They wanted to build more of a multiplayer experience.
Well, the thing is, they've said since, because they've obviously been asked a lot about online multiplayer, and they
Mm.
said multiple times, like, look, we're a small studio, we have like 15, 17 people, we can't.
Yeah, it's too
We
hard.
can't
to
do a
do that
Yeah.
shit as
multiplayer
well.
game.
Fair
Like
enough.
we haven't talked about maybe not doing it in the future, but like we just don't. I don't think we can really. It's a huge development
Yeah,
investment,
yeah, totally.
and it's fair enough.
Servers
Yeah.
and shit.
But like even then, man, I would love to see a multiplayer variant of this. Like it's
Yep.
it's
Well, maybe if it
deep.
becomes big enough.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like there's mind games to it, man. You know, there's jumping, there's diving, there's certain characters can fly,
dodging.
and weaving, and yeah, there's some
Dodging
skill
and
to it.
more
you know?
Ducking and dipping and dodging.
dodging and diving and ducking and
No, it does look very cool. I'm keen to play
Yeah,
more of it. Like I only
same.
just started then, but like it's already like
Yeah.
entranced me. I want more.
some of the world building is like I'm not going to tell you anything about the where, but it's talking about one of the locations you visit, and it was like there are stories here that this area is cursed, and then it's talking about an old god. Effectively, it was like stories are there was an old god that was slain here, one great corrupter whose essence has truly never left the world, which is why everything is corrupted. And then you're talking to a character, and they're like, well, yeah, those stories are actually true, and he is indeed slowly regenerating, but he's not going to be back up for like another 10,000 years, so just don't worry about it. And you're like, I was just like, that is such a cool little detail
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
the world.
yeah.
Like the fact that there is this bigger story, and it's something that's going to continue on without you.
I'm so curious about the world because the girl, like when she asked you like if you're afraid, because I said yes, her response was like, well, maybe if you hang around long enough, you'll get horns as well. And I was like, oh,
Is that what it actually?
I don't know. Is that a thing, or is
That's what
is
it
that a
said.
joke,
Yeah.
or like?
Well, I
don't
think
know. I'm
I've
confused.
read somewhere else in the game as well, something like that. The longer you stay in, the darker or whatever you get, sort of thing.
Yeah, okay, interesting. I mean, I guess that's where like the hope and everything comes into play.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And all the stats, like all the abilities rely on stats. Obviously, each character has stats based around how fast they move, how
fast,
quickly
yeah.
they respawn, how big their aura is, and
How
you
they can
augment
like
it with
throw the
items.
ball as well. I think.
Special abilities and all that kind of stuff. It is a great game. Of course, like any Supergiant game, music is
Music, art style.
Oh, I'm so keen to listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I've had it on loop, and it's since playing it, like playing the first few hours, and being like, yeah, this is some good quality Supergiant game. Coming back to it at a point in your caravan does not stay the same, as well I'll say. And
Awesome.
you can start listening to, in a similar way, when I'm talking about
Like
lifting
Transistor.
things from Transistor, yeah, you had that kind of safe space you would
yeah,
keep
where the
going back
beach
to.
was and stuff. Exactly. That as soon as I saw the caravan, I was like 100%
Exactly.
Transistor.
This is where it is, right?
And like that's where you talk to the characters, you learn more about the game, and as you said, like you don't have to. You could literally just go like next, and finish the game in probably what a couple hours.
But yeah, it feels very rewarding to not do
does.
that, right?
Yeah.
Well, like I like that sort of stuff. So.
And like I like the retro aesthetic of being in the caravan and being able to click and interact on things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's that
same.
point and click
All that
adventure
shit.
game. Like you can find out information about the world. You can interact with things. I don't know if you ever have you rung the bell in the caravan yet?
No,
No.
I've tapped on the monsters a lot.
Yeah, that's good.
Like,
Like ring the bell, for example, to see what happens.
I didn't
And,
see
Okay.
the bell.
I mean, yeah, maybe it's I don't know. You'll see it.
I'll
But
see it, yeah.
there's just a really nice world there for you to live in. But the music, man, like it.
Yeah,
There's one of like its signature song, which I don't think you really hear into the game. Maybe not until like the end, and so I don't know if I've necessarily
Transistor?
spoiled it. Yeah, but it's so catchy, man. Like I can't stop singing it. It's great.
Yeah, I think I heard it because you added it to our shared playlist.
I probably did, yeah. So I'm a terrible
So I
person.
started listening to it. I was like, this sounds awesome. It sounds like it's from like Transistor. I'm like,
It's good shit. Yeah, definitely can recommend Pi. Definitely, if you're a fan of any game ever, just do it.
I'm assuming you
Yeah.
guys are playing with controller, or
Yes.
I'm not.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So
playing with
how
controller.
does the I've heard not good things about the sports ball, but I've heard
I think
obviously
sports
it's
ball
better.
would be very good with the controller.
It would
and
be
I
great
think-
with
I
a
think
controller.
The rest of the game is probably
too bad.
I'll eventually get a controller
Yeah.
just for games anyway. Now that I've got a new computer, I feel like getting new everything.
Yeah, smart. I
Um,
would recommend.
Yeah,
Pick up a $200 Xbox Elite controller.
Yeah, smart decision.
eventually.
Solid.
But yeah, it's not too bad. I was very confused at first because I like just everything I was used to doing, moving with WASD.
Yeah.
I started
It's
doing that. I'm
click,
like,
is it?
why aren't they turned? Yeah, it's clicking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's, I guess, Dota in a way.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
your
that's right.
abilities are on the WASD
Yeah,
or whatever,
okay.
W shift
Q,
something.
WA.
Yeah, something like
Q,
that. I
yeah.
can't remember exactly what they were, but yeah, it's not too bad once you get used to it. Like
It just felt like
I didn't
like,
hate it.
yeah.
It's apparently pretty difficult. That's all I've heard.
It is.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it definitely like playing with the controller because straight up I loaded it. I was like, oh yeah, that's this game. I'm probably gonna play with the controller, and I started using it. And yeah, the sports ball. It feels like what was that game like Sega Soccer Slam sort of thing? Yeah, like where you run around with your thing using the analog stick, and it just felt so native to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas yeah, I was thinking like on the computer it'd probably be a little bit weird, but yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's Pi, really. Shouldn't be eating
yep.
so much.
It's
but
also a fire.
Pi just sounds like a very Filipino person trying to say fire. I can say that because I've got a Filipino girlfriend. Fire. It's exactly
I think
it.
it works that way, man.
Yeah, it does.
It's like people are like, oh, I can be racist because
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
that
I have a
race.
black friend.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
I
You'll-
can be racist because my girlfriend.
You'll
is
edit that
race.
out, hopefully. But no, that's Pi. It's a good game. Definitely recommend it. It's definitely carries.
I
the
want to play
silver.
more, but I can't this week.
because
motherfucking Dota.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Dota. Let's talk Dota in a quick hot second. I'm gonna slip in a little bit more Splatoon. I won't keep you too
Yeah,
long. Don't
all
worry. I've been playing a shit ton more Splatoon, as you
Nice.
guys probably already know. It's a very good video game from your fine friends at Nintendo, and it had a Splatfest recently, which is one of the events that are, I think they're like once every couple of months.
Sounds oddly
Oh, that's cool.
sexual.
It does.
Splatfest.
It does. There's a lot of things about
Is
that
it always
game.
going to be called Splatfest?
It's always a Splatfest.
Okay, but they're just changing the
Subject matter.
condiments.
Yeah, no, not always condiments. This time it was.
What goes splat?
Guys, I don't know what's wrong with all you motherfucking mayonnaise lovers. I'm just saying, ketchup for the win.
We're
It's-
white, man.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, can't really.
Love
do
it.
it.
Yeah,
mayonnaise.
I mean, it
Extra
depends,
mayonnaise
man.
for me, thanks.
Great movie.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna go with mayonnaise.
All right, fair enough, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I just like. What do you put?
Podcast
tomato-
is fuck.
I prefer barbecue sauce, Dan. So
No, that's
really.
fair. That's
No,
fair.
but what do you put tomato sauce on?
You can put on anything, man. Meat
Like,
pie,
what
sausage
do
roll.
you put tomato sauce on?
Sometimes rice.
What the fuck?
Try it.
No, that's
Ooh.
no.
That's good.
You're fine.
Nah, try it. Try it.
Rice? No, fuck off.
No.
You know, people put tomato sauce with pasta.
Yeah, it's what, like,
No.
would you ever eat tomato sauce, like, instead of spaghetti bolognese, instead of it having bolognese sauce,
You have a
just
tomato
just
based
tomato?
No, of
sauce.
course not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not tomato sauce like
What if I
Heinz
paid you
tomato sauce.
$1,000? Would you eat it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man.
Fucking
I'll do
give it
many things for
$1,000 right now.
$1,000.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, we're good. Go on.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Whereas mayonnaise, it's like, you have it on burgers and shit. Like, it's the base.
You have
of
fucking ketchup on burgers? You have more
Yeah.
ketchup on burgers than mayonnaise?
Dude, it's tomato sauce.
Yeah,
Who are you, American?
Yeah, sorry, I've been playing Splatoon, man. They
Apparently.
fuck with my vernacular, man.
The Japanese American game.
Yes, indeed. It's you know, it's huge in Japan. Selling, it's got like something like a 96% attach rate in Japan.
Wow.
So if you've got
Wow.
a Switch,
You've got
you,
Splatoon.
you probably have
because
Splatoon
there's
in
only
Japan.
that and Zelda.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it is a good game. Like
Like Zelda. Is Zelda 100%, you reckon?
I think it's more than it's 100 and something.
It's gotta
Yeah.
be.
How does that make sense?
Because people have bought more than one copy, or
Of Zelda.
have and
Why?
have
How?
have
To
given
what
it,
end?
but have bought it. I think maybe they calculated it potentially with Wii U sales as well in mind. So if
I feel like that statistic is bad.
yes, if someone says that,
Yeah.
but no, I heard people buying more than the original copy to potentially resell onwards because they're worried
Interesting.
about a stock shortage. So
Huh.
I did hear more than 100% attach rate. Yeah,
Fair
which is
enough.
crazy.
Well, I currently have 2 in my possession.
There you go, man.
But also
Nice.
2 Switches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're balancing it out. Yeah,
Maintaining the 100%,
You got to
man.
get right in that medium. But yeah, Splatfest was is a like a
Great
timed
success.
battle. It was really cool. Like they completely changed this online little hub into a live stage performance, which I showed you guys earlier. And everyone. The community in that game is quite active, and everyone starts taking sides. So all through the little drawings, you start seeing there's a lot of rivalries and battles and stupid jokes and really just kind of nice drawings. Like it's a as I said, a very comforting game, very kind of comfortable. But I made the mistake of thinking that it wasn't a competitive game. I kind of assumed it was just mostly let's fuck around and paint some shit. But since the last time I talked about it on the podcast, I started playing the ranked battles. And in the ranked battles, I assumed it was just the standard mode, which is called Turf War, where you cover everything in paint and it's about who paints the most. But in this particular ranked battle, it wasn't just that. It was the different kind of game modes that are more team focused. So, for example, there's a payload style game mode, which is called Tower Control. There's a kind of capture the flag style mode called Rainmaker, except the flag is a gun which shoots a massive explosion, and you have to slam dunk it into the enemy team, which is pretty good. And they've also got like a capture point mode. So I started playing a bunch of that, and I got to a state where I had to stop playing the game because I was so angry. I reached
Wow.
the level.
Dota.
I
Jeez.
reached
Yeah.
more than I've ever reached with Dota levels of just like frustration and being like, I'm fucking better than this. I can play, and like I had to put the controller down and walk away from it. I'm like, oh shit, that Splatoon is pure. That's some uncut fucking Splatoon. I got to be careful with this game. And so I had to calm down and take. I had to detox. I had to detox for a day because I'd been playing. I think I've played something like 35 hours of that game since it's come out.
Wow.
It's
And it came out like 2 weeks ago?
yeah, it's fucking worrying. It's
Wow,
it's
man.
like the same, if not more, than I played Zelda when it came out. So it's because the thing is, the rounds are so short. The rounds are 3 minutes, and at the end of the round, it has a big thing that says "continue," and you're like, yeah, and then you continue. And this is one of the things I don't like about the game. There's weird arbitrary restrictions all over it. Like you're in a lobby waiting to connect with other people, you can't go back. You just can't. You just have to sit there and either turn your Switch off or just deal with it and wait for you to load into the game.
Search.
Can't do it.
Interesting.
And
weird.
there's like while we're on the arbitrary restrictions range, you can't play these competitive modes for the first 10 levels, which I can understand.
That makes sense.
right?
A lot of games do that.
But for
I
me,
think Dota's done that now. as
Overwatch
well.
does that as well.
Yeah.
for me, it was like it's a small grind to get to that level, right?
10, yeah.
But that's not where it ends, right? So you got into rank battles, and I was like, cool. I understand why you have to play Splatfest. Sorry, your tower fucking what is it called?
Tutorial zone.
Whatever the default mode where you just have to spray the ground is was still really fun. I was enjoying it, but then I hit a point of like, man, I would have liked to have known about these game modes earlier because I didn't actually even know they were in the game. To be practically honest, I thought it was just a ranked form of it. But then once you get to ranked mode, in order to access league battles, which are like ranked battles but with your friends, so you can queue up and you don't
Like make a party and team,
yeah,
etc.
it's a completely different game mode, so you don't get romped in. You standard solo ranked. But in order to get that, you have to raise one of your ranked match stats to a high enough level. So you have to basically rank up to B- with anything in order to have access to that thing. And I was doing it. It was cool. It was a cool reward path of like, cool, I get to B-, and I'll be able to play that mode with none of my friends. But it was cool to have access to it. Yeah, but like it was a cool thing. But then I got there and I was like, man, okay, so I get one of my friends playing this game and I have to be like, I get to level 10 and then
Yep,
get to
and
B-,
then get to-
and then we can play together, which is just stupid. It's just
All right, so
indefensible.
B- is that like your rank?
That's your rank. You start at
and-
C minus,
And you can't. Oh, you can only play. Okay, good show. Yeah.
So,
that's
yeah.
a weird.
But
Yeah.
like, admittedly, the rank is something that somewhat can be farmed. Like the way you have a rank meter, and after you get above like 20 or 30% in that rank meter, it's called the OK line. And if you perform badly enough, eventually that rank meter cracks. If you're above the OK line, it just resets. If you're below the OK line, you go down a rank.
Huh. Okay.
So it's
Cool.
you know.
It's alright, man. I'll pick it up and play with you.
I'll do it if you
I
will,
just-
man. I'll be.
I just really need to finish Zelda first.
No,
Like,
fair enough. Yeah.
With Morgan coming back as well, he's gonna fucking want his Switch back.
Yep, you got to get through that shit.
Hmm.
Maybe he'll get fucking Splatoon shit. Anyway, the
You know, he's unemployed.
exactly the game itself is really fucking cool. Like I have to say, the live element of it is way more important than I figured it was. It
Yeah,
really
it
feels
sounds
like,
it's living and breathing. Yeah,
Yeah.
as you said, like MMO style, which is kind of odd to see coming from Nintendo.
It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's not live. Like you're not walking around this plaza with other people, but the people who've just played against populate in your
Honestly,
little plaza.
reminds me of like Destiny MMO. A little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah, almost,
Which, is
yeah.
not real MMO, but like it's still a cool thing.
It's Destiny if it had like 1,000 times % more soul. You know, like that game is just filled with charm and character from top to bottom. There's so many nice little cool things that I didn't expect to happen. It's really nice and rewarding across the board. And like
That's true.
You know, like you play against someone in an online match and you see something that they're using that you like because they're just after you've played them in an online match, they're just hanging out in your plaza. You can walk up to them, inspect their gear, and then order their gear, and then a guy will go off and try to find something similar and bring it back to you so
That's
you
cool.
can buy that gear. And you can just make yourself look super fresh, man.
So you could just go and make yourself look exactly like them.
Yeah, if
stand
you
next
really
to
wanted
them
to, yeah.
And be like, "Sup?"
Or if you got amiibos, you get some sweet amiibo.
Here comes the amiibo crack.
Yeah.
You got. This is what sucks you in,
I
right?
get you that fucking sweet amiibo. Hey guys, I finished the
much money
Splatoon set.
have
Don't
you
ask. no, I think on just Splatoon,
Yeah,
there's been 6 of them, so 7, 8.
like $80.
Oh no, more than that, man. I'd say,
Let's not kid ourselves here.
yeah, I'd
let's,
say
we're
like
talking hundreds.
no, I mean like let's
Thousands.
say 140, 150, like 160
He
bucks.
sold his car.
It's like 160 bucks. Yeah, I got the full set now though.
So much money,
I got the
man.
full set, man. That's something happiness can't buy. Yeah, that's right. But it's
That's true.
it's a good
That
video
is
game.
definitely
It's a
a
good video
factual
game. The
fact.
meme is cool. Cool guys from Mad Friends. But yeah,
What do you even get? You get like items. In the
you get
game.
items and shit.
Yeah.
You get to name them. So I got a blue one. I called him Eiffel 65. Oh yeah, and yeah,
What
you
does
get,
it do? Nothing?
it gives you armor and stuff, and then
It's a pay to win.
you put the amiibo thing down the back of the plaza, and there's this little kind of the style around that game is amazing. So the amiibo thing actually looks like a packet, like very shiny plastic that looks like it has a place to hang on the shelf and everything. You go up and put them down, and they spin into existence, make a really cool sound. They go, "Sup, dude? You're looking super fresh." And I'm like,
This
"Yeah,
is
boy."
the tone of a man who's been bought.
Hey, man.
Suck it in.
I don't give a shit. I'm in too deep now, man. I'm thinking about making a custom display unit for him and everything. Like I'm going in far, man. I'm going in
Whatever,
hard.
man. If you're gonna do it, you may as well do it.
Yeah.
all the way.
Exactly right. If
Yeah.
it's worth doing, it's worth doing.
It's
This
worth
is your
doing.
life now.
It's worth doing. It's worth spending $160.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, look, that's what's doing. There's this whole single player thing and the whole co-op thing. I'm not going
Yeah.
to take too much more time, but
No, that's cool.
Definitely
I will.
worth it.
As I said, I'm definitely going to pick it up. I've seen enough of it that I'm like, it looks like a fun game.
Yeah.
Like, especially the multiplayer aspect. I think, as we talked about as well, with like the Switch just being this awesome console you can bring around with you anywhere. And I think you were telling me like you've got to the point where you're like at the shops with your girlfriend. You've got 10 minutes. You're like, well, I've got an internet connection on my phone and
Yep.
I've got my Switch, so I can get some of that crack in.
Oh, and-
and like that's pretty enticing.
it's so
Yeah.
good. Like it's such a because for me it's like on the same level as a Dota or a Rocket League in terms of something that
I'm
is.
keen for Rocket League on the Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell me about it. But I want my fucking sweet cosmetics.
Yeah,
speaking of.
same. That's never gonna happen.
But it's like it's one of those main games that can be with me at any time that I can launch into, and is a 3-minute game, and you know it just feels good. Like it's a cool learning curve between the different types of weapons you have, the different types of movement, and it is like from a strategic level way deeper than I thought, because the whole idea of taking turf away from your opponent, having it colored in your ink as opposed to theirs, does mean that it's a way of shoring up your position in a like in a lot of online shooters, your position and your dominance is almost metaphorical. Like
Yeah,
I've got 5 people
yeah.
in this area, we've got it locked down. When I've got that shit covered in paint,
PlayerUnknown's.
I've literally got it
Yeah.
locked down. Like you can come into my zone and you might push into a whole bunch of people and wipe me out. It's very possible, but I can also just hide in the corner and wake up and fucking fuck you up super hard, man. It feels so good every time you do it. It's great, man. It's so great.
Don't let you into your zone. though.
It's so good. Don't let him in. Don't straight up. Never let me into my zone. Otherwise, you're gonna have some trouble. But that's Splatoon. Let's keep this fucking shit
Right.
moving because
It's International Week.
it's International
And
Week.
we all know what happens during the International
What
Week.
happens during the International Week, Simon?
Dota.
Yeah, and the International, as it
Well,
turns
Dota.
out. It's a good, great, fantastic family fun time. And the group stages have concluded, which means the main event is starting in what? T-minus fucking 6 hours?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
6
hours?
hours?
2 a.m.
5 hours?
Whether or not they actually start at 2 a.m.,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah. Gaben, What do you reckon?
Well,
Polo shirt?
Oh, 100%.
100% polo shirt?
Dirty polo
Oh,
shirt.
the same
Stains-
polo shirt he wears
stains?
every
Yeah,
year.
Yeah, exactly. Same one. He hasn't changed out of it, amazingly.
I like to think he wears it every day.
Yeah, so do I. I like to imagine he he isn't a person, but he's just a projection of it coming from the polo shirt itself. The polo shirt is
Maybe
sentient.
he's actually uploaded his consciousness at this point. And this is just a hologram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
We
yeah.
do know they have hologram technology.
They do.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't look away from Valve. They're gonna fucking money.
That's dude. What, like 25?
It's
means-
almost
that
almost
means-
a 24
That means
million.
$75 million that Valve made from this tournament that they're putting into
Cosmetics, hats,
sweet
knives,
hats, sweet
knives.
hats. Yeah, knives.
Gabe's knives.
Yeah,
Yep.
GabesKnives.com coming at you hot and fresh. This knife only $25. 3 of them left.
But goddamn, it's great to watch some Dota. I gotta
Oh,
say,
holy
It's like
shit,
just watching it
I
again.
missed Dota.
And over 100 heroes were picked in the first day.
Yeah.
And then I think
Does that not show a healthy meta?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
that's
100
great.
heroes picked
I
out
love
of the
that.
100.
awesome.
I remember like in previous internationals, we're like halfway through and it gets up to like 90. We're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
The first like 3 days.
Yeah. And
I
I imagine how much of it is because of VP. Yeah, VP.
Oh, yeah, VP are nuts.
Because those are the team who, in the
Yeah.
last major, for those who don't play or watch Dota, major is a big tournament. They were accused by a couple of other players, like off the side, like, yeah, they did well at the last tournament, but they can only play a certain amount of heroes. And this team, all Russian, by the way, I don't know if that comes into it for you.
did not pick a hero twice.
Did not pick a hero. They're like, we're going to
Yeah.
fucking pick every fucking hero
Yeah.
that we can,
Yeah.
all in a row, and they dominated with
Because
it.
they all
Yeah.
bet on that as the prediction.
Yeah.
So, like, we can
Like,
do this single handedly.
We got it, man. Yeah. So they haven't obviously picked every single hero. This is the international. It's a serious time, but they still picked plenty of heroes, and
Yeah.
not alone. Everyone was picking all over the place. There's plenty
Yeah,
of
it's great. And I
interesting
think
picks.
also ban-wise, there's been
Yeah,
over
lot
100
of
possibly,
Was
or
IO
close to 100.
IO still the
a
the
lot.
most banned?
No, bloody
Night Stalker was for a
Night Stalker
while.
is
Really? I put
Night
Night
Stalker
Stalker
and
down.
Nyx. I think it's the same thing with like Earthshaker and
My Protecos!
yeah.
savage.
I checked out the meta before
Yeah, same.
the thing, so I
Gotta get
picked
those
that
points.
Stalker. Yeah,
You
Earthshaker and Sand King are the two top picks
That was
for
someone-
Yeah,
picks.
I think
and then,
Earthshaker for mine, and I
yeah,
did Night
and
Stalker for ban.
Night Stalker and Nyx are the two top banned.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
then, but then I went to go do like the top GPM, XPM. I'm just like, Anti-Mage.
That bloody 2-hour game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I can't remember who it was between.
Anti-Mage had 1,930 last hits, I think, in the end.
Jesus
Jesus.
fucking
Yeah.
Christ.
That's worrying. That's
That's
like
a
that's
lot.
It's only the group stages. So
Yeah.
over the last 4 days, a lot of Dota has been played, and the seeds
They
have been
they
worked
have taken
out.
a break, haven't they?
They take a
from
Sunday to... So it's
Sunday
like
to
a...
now?
no.
day.
It's just a day. I believe
Oh,
it's
so
just
it's
one
just
day.
today,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
It's-
today was the break.
Was there Dota yesterday?
Yeah, there
I was
was.
too hungover to know.
There was only like 3 sets of
Okay,
games.
all right, yeah.
So the
Shorter day.
results. Let's get the results happening up here.
China is
Dominating.
Yeah.
Hard.
LFY, LGD, Newbie, and I think
You reckon it's
IG.
going to be a China-only
It's-
final? Or?
Maybe.
No, well,
but
if the legend,
Liquid is winning.
yeah, Liquid dominating as well. But if it goes in the order of what has been happening, first one was an all West final. Next one was the one that IG won, East won.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Then
true.
West,
That's
then
true.
East.
Yep, yep.
And
So
what was
this
last
one's
year? This
supposed-
one was last year was Chinese, right? It was Wings.
Yeah, Wings. So
And they took
this
it
is
out over
supposed to be
VP.
an all West final.
All right. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Hopefully.
So
We'll see.
the two teams that got knocked out. Let's talk them quickly. Fnatic and Hellraisers. Fnatic,
Is SCA.
Fnatic's SEA. They went 2 for 14. They
Yeah.
got 2 games. They lost 14.
That's rough.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
Hey,
That's
man, it's no MUFC in that like 3 ones ago where they went like 0 for 14 or 0 for 15
Yeah, they-
or something.
at the
Man, I
very,
watched one of their games. They were doing really well. Must have been like the only one they won.
yeah,
Yeah.
Fnatic, they won against Vitality, IG Vitality, so that's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was legit. Yeah, I saw that game.
And
that was good.
they won against INF, who are, what are they called again?
Infamous.
And-
I think
yeah.
they're Peruvian or something.
yeah, so both of those teams not getting knocked out, but of course Fnatic very much getting knocked out. Infamous was
They still
was
got
eighth.
what, like $60,000, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
something
they
like
still
that.
get some
Still
cash,
bad.
right? And so did Hellraisers, who are relatively unknown, so I kind of expected.
Yeah.
They went 1 for 15. Execration, the other team above them, got 5 for 11, and that was fairly impressive in Group
Yeah.
B. But so if that's from the bottom up, I'm going to go Group A. Infamous, Team Empire, IG Vitality, and Team Secret were all in the lower bracket now from Group A. So Secret performed exactly well as IG. Empire and Infamous about the same with 16
Yeah.
and 5-11 each. And then the top side of the bracket, TL, Team Liquid, went 13-3, dominated the bracket.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's got to be first place for them. LGD LGD Gaming came 12 for 4, and I think the deciding game there was in fact one that Liquid took away from them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
To get above them. So that was a kind of a good win for them. Evil Geniuses coming in 11 for 5 underneath that, and then TNC Pro Team. Good on them. You know, top 4 for TNC.
The thing for me about that group as well, EG, I feel like they've been playing when I watched, I think they're also the second least heroes picked as well.
They've been playing
They've been playing
Yeah.
like the exact same heroes, everything, and it's working, obviously.
Yep. Do you think they're saving like strats and things?
I think they
or-
must be, right?
I'm sure they're saving a few strats. Yeah.
Like EG, especially with the performance leading up to this, has been so dominant.
Yeah.
They have to know that they're almost. I mean, they can't be sure they're going to
Yeah.
make it through the group stages. They have to know they're making it to the main tournament.
Oh yeah.
They have to know that they're
They're feeling good.
going to be pretty high up there. If they make it into the winners bracket, they have some pretty easy sailing for them to pull shit out, and they've been performing so well. I wouldn't
Totally.
I wouldn't
like-
look at the standings as like the
was it
final ranking of
The
who's
last
best.
major or last international, I think one of you was telling us about how one of the teams basically had a strategy that they were like, this is going to 100% work.
It was VP.
It's only
yeah,
gonna work
yeah.
once.
It was
Yeah.
VP, and they said, yeah, we've got a strategy. We just have to get one game because we know in the game after that, no matter what, this strategy will work.
Yeah.
It'll only work once.
Yep.
And so
That's awesome.
I'm excited to see where
Yeah.
this whole strat saving goes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I wish I had more of the week off to watch more of it.
yeah,
Right.
same.
But quickly, LGD also dominating. They didn't drop a game for quite a while at the start.
Yeah,
of
that
the
was terrible.
LFY, you mean?
LFY.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
They
Which is
didn't-
LGD.
LGD Forever Young.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Forever Young.
Oh,
So yeah, it was only in the last couple
it's
of
gonna be
days.
so funny if it's LGD versus
Versus
LGD.
LFY,
You know,
yeah.
like that is
It's possible.
That's
Yeah.
the first I suppose the semi-final.
Mm.
After the
Yeah.
first round of the main event, LGD if LGD and LGD Young
That's
win their
the
games.
thing. The top bracket, it's all
Could be the second
Chinese
game.
teams versus like a world team.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Europe, if you look
Oh,
at
oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got IG
Liquid.
versus Liquid,
Yep.
Newbie versus EG, LFY versus TNC, and LGG versus VP.
Yeah, it's it's
really
gonna
cool.
It's gonna
Big
be.
East first West thing.
I'm very excited for obviously the Liquid versus EG game if that were to happen
Yeah.
in upper bracket round 2. If they
that
were
would
to
be
if they were to
good.
win and go through to there, that would be some intense Dota.
Yep.
Obviously LGD, like for me personally, my top 4, I would love to see VP, EG, Liquid, and then probably I don't know. Let's go for DC. No, let's not.
Hey man, DC were crazy
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, it's a completely new team, unfortunately.
yeah.
Completely new.
Disappointing.
They're not the same. But maybe Secret. Or no, OG or Secret up there. I like to have Secret
I-
up there,
I-
not because they're a good team, because they're a good team to hate. You know what I mean? It's easy to dump on
I kind
them.
of want to see OG do better because,
Yeah.
like, obviously they've smashed the majors,
Yeah.
and now they're like,
Yeah, they're crumbling under the pressure, man. The
This is
OG.
happened last
Saving
year, isn't it?
strats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Saving strats
They're
all
like-
the way to the loss.
Well, to be fair, like the lower bracket is way more exciting than
Yeah.
the upper bracket. Like the
Yeah,
lower
have that
bracket's when people get
Cinderella
knocked
Best
out.
of ones though. The first
Yeah, that's
couple
rough.
of rounds or the first
It's
round.
just the
One of
first
two?
round is a
Just
best
the
of
first
one.
round, yep.
So
So straight up,
so straight up
4
either
people
yeah.
get ditched.
Yeah.
out of Execration, Team Secret, Cloud9, Empire, OG, Infamous, IG Vitality, and DC.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Imagine being like OG
On the bracket, man.
where you're like, if we
One
don't win this
game
game,
away.
we're done.
Look,
Yeah.
here's the story though. Infamous fighting EG, right? OG. OG has got to be one of the higher seeds to
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
Infamous.
Cinderella story.
Yeah, right.
But
If
that's-
they take OG down, they're winning the fucking tournament. Man. They're going. I'm giving them the full
Yeah,
force. I'm
that's
like, all right, take my spirit powered dog. Let's do this.
That's when you use that one strat that only wins
Only works
one
once,
game.
yeah.
Exactly.
Big middle finger to fucking fly no tail. Just be
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's right, boy.
Chances are, though, if that happened, they'd like ride it all the way to the final, which would probably be like LFY, and then just get
Get
fucking
completely
wrecked.
something. Yeah. Do you reckon we see a 5-game final? Do you reckon the level of
Ooh.
Dota is equal enough that we get a 5-game final?
I think it can be. Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
If
I'm
we
gonna
have
say
if we
yes.
have a
Let's do
Liquid
it.
versus
There's
EG,
been so many draws.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean,
It's
it's
been
because
like-
there was only 2 games, I guess.
There's
But still,
but
yeah.
still.
some
yeah.
tight games of Dota. Like
Yeah.
there's no major
Yeah.
disparity
Well, it's
between.
like,
Yeah.
there was, I think it was an OG game actually, where they were like losing, and then they just crawled their way back
Yeah.
over like 40
They had a
minutes.
massive net worth loss,
Yeah.
and they had one hero who was the top of the table. I
Yeah.
can't remember who it was, but they
No, neither.
crawled their way back into the
I
game.
remember
and
at some
ended up
point they
winning.
were what, like 26k behind or something.
And they had one set of racks. That was it. It was.
And then and obviously in like as the commentators, I can't remember who they were saying that it's very easy in that instance to kind of be like, all right, let's not waste all our energy now as the first game. Like we could just drop it, pick it up, but they're like, no, let's fucking keep fighting.
Yeah,
And then they
right.
won, and
Yeah.
it's like,
And then think about how demoralizing that is for the other team.
oh,
Yeah.
right,
You imagine
yeah.
being in that position, just like we could have fucking had those dudes.
Yeah,
Like,
we had that.
We had the
Dude,
ability.
that's all of our Dota games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Imagine how demoralizing that losing the 2-hour. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think
fuck
about
me.
it. That would
Oh
suck.
my god.
Yeah.
But so the live coverage just starts soon. I'm going to get my bracket predicos in,
Yeah.
and
That's
then
nice.
maybe jump up for the opening ceremony.
And
I just want to see some Day 9. I want to see Day 9 welcoming.
Same.
Man.
Yeah.
Look, I'll probably go watch the opening ceremony tomorrow. I don't think I can
Yeah,
get up
yeah,
for it.
yeah.
That's
It's crazy.
Well,
people
crazy,
do it.
man.
It starts the.
It's like 5
Okay, does the
hours.
ceremony start at 2?
Probably. I don't know. We should find out.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll go have a
some-
look. If it's like 3,
Yeah.
3:30, maybe I'll think about it.
I'll just because I've watched a whole bunch of Day
Sleep
9
then,
clips
man.
today because someone was like, good luck with your debut tomorrow, and people were like, who's Day 9 again? And everyone was like, this is Day
This is-
9. Let him explain micro to you. Let him tell you his story of
Yeah.
of the
Man,
number J.
Day9, like he's already huge, but
Yeah.
I feel like he's just gonna be even bigger after this.
Well, I think there's a division between it because there's a lot of people who I personally think are quite immature. They're like, he's an outsider to the Dota community. I'm like,
Really? But once you
fuck
hear
does-
Day9
cares?
talk, you're gonna
Yeah.
be like, I love this man.
Yeah.
yeah,
he's amazing.
exactly. He's fucking mad chill, man.
He is like not OG, but such, but like OG esports. Like he's
100%.
been writing that shit out like his entire life.
Yeah, man, you can't push him out, and he doesn't matter. He's gonna handle it pretty well either way.
Okay.
I think
He's
hopefully.
impossible to hate.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get Purge. On
Are
the
they gonna
couch,
have
man.
Purge, Weatherman Purge
Yep.
again?
I believe he's gonna
Hopefully.
be on the he's potentially on the
panel.
at a panel with
with
Dana, which is
Dana.
gonna be really good because they
Yeah,
already
'cause-
have a really good
exactly.
Dana.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like Purge knows when to cut him right down, which is
Nope,
just
you're wrong.
fucking hilarious. Yeah, but look, I'm really looking forward to some Dota. It's obviously going to be something we're watching, and we'll come off fresh before
Yep.
next
So
podcast.
I reckon next week we do a podcast because
Yeah.
we're gonna have a lot to talk about
Yep.
from
Yep.
the international.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we're just like, "Do you know that fucking dream call? Oh my god, it's so good. Oh, let's play some Dota.
we'll play some videos. It'll be like a 20-minute podcast of us gushing, and then we'll be like, all right.
Let's play some Dota.
Well,
Yeah, see ya.
But yeah, speaking of Dota though, like the international, as we always knew it was going to, has just completely reignited my passion.
Yep.
Like
The passion flame is alive.
I
Yeah.
kind of when I want to go play games with you guys now, I think of Dota, not player unknowns, which
Yep.
has been
Yeah.
rare in the last couple of months. So,
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Like-
It's trying to get the games get together is not like quite as easy.
No.
To just be like, let's do it. But
Dan and I played a game the other day, which was we played fucking disgustingly.
we played offlane Wisp and Earthshaker,
Nice.
and it didn't go well at all.
I haven't played like IO Wisp like in probably
Yeah.
a year, and we haven't played Dota in like 3 months. And yeah, we're doing that offlane, and we just got fucking wrecked.
There's a couple of amazing moments of just like,
carried
all
us.
right, let's go, let's teleport. And I'm like, what? And then just broke the tether, and was like, no! And then just teleported
Or,
to the
like,
enemy.
I teleported us to the base like 3 times.
It was a good time. It was a really good time. It was fun. Hey, we
We
won.
got like one good combo off.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
we're like, that was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
and
good.
then we fucked
Got-
up everything else.
got an echo slam.
I'm
Sweet.
assuming our team was like, what the fuck are these people doing?
Yeah.
All right. But they won somehow.
They
They did
did
sniper carry us a victory. So good on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dota's back alive and well. It's a great ass video game. It's just you got to get 5 people together in a room to actually do the full international experience. But we'll get there. In other news, we've got some news. Actually, in other video games. Before we move on, like we got to power through this shit. It's been going. This is a podcast. That's for
Yep,
sure.
let's get through it.
Any other news?
No.
Games?
Besides Player Unknowns and
Yeah.
Dota, yeah, that's been.
We're
a
Don't-
bit
we're
of
going to
me.
talk about PlayerUnknown's in
Yeah.
a second. But
All right. Yeah, there was a massive patch, wasn't there?
well, fucking. Let's talk about some in-game currency / crates. So
that one, yeah.
Middle Earth, Shadow of War. Didn't take it away. You thought I was going to take it, did you? They're adding crates, purchasable crates to Middle Earth, Shadow of War. Single player game,
Cool.
blind boxes. People are angry.
Paid boxes?
Yes. So it was announced today. People are like, fuck this shit. And some guy put a comment, which is the thing stimulating a little bit of conversation in my mind. It says, when your game has been designed from the ground up to accommodate these systems, no matter what, the game always suffers. And I'm like, look, I can agree with that. I can understand that. I can understand being pissed off because especially when content in a single player game is locked up behind an arbitrary paywall.
Yeah.
Man, does that not feel shit? Like, we're okay with that in a multiplayer game for reasons which I think are a little bit more fleshed out. I mean, I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? In a single player game,
No, that's weird.
Yeah.
don't like
Don't
it.
like it.
Won't do it.
No.
What's the big difference for you between multiplayer and
I,
single?
look, I don't like it in multiplayer games either.
Yeah, no,
I just
no.
don't like it. But I think the only exception is something like, your Rocket League or your Dota, where it's like cosmetic crate, like whatever. But why do you need that in a single player game?
Well, yeah, it's just like they went to great lengths to explain. Hey, yeah, it's very much not stuff that you can't get in game otherwise. It just helps you get it faster, that kind of stuff.
But to what end?
Yeah. Well, they obviously want more money. That's
Oh,
a
yeah, I
pretty
understand
good-
what they're doing. But why would the player
to speed up the process, man. It's
To-
just
but,
paid cheats. It's horse armor all over again, man. We're back there. It's come full circle. It's a weird
Look,
thing.
man. You know what? Ultimately, I don't really care.
Doesn't
Like,
affect you,
actually,
yeah.
I'm probably more okay with it in a single player game than a multiplayer game.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk PUBG then, because speaking of crates, after there's a whole bunch of PR disasters which have happened over the last couple of weeks. We won't dwell on them too hard. Most notably, they talked about adding a crate system. So they've
have
obviously
a
got
crate
they've already got the crate system.
Yeah.
They talked about adding a paid premium crate system. The most premium of crates.
I mean, yeah. Again,
it's just cosmetics,
Like, I
yeah.
don't care.
Precisely. Yeah.
Yeah.
People getting fucking pissed though.
There are a shit ton of money on the marketplace, though, aren't
Yeah,
there?
one of my my cousin's friends sold his pre-order item.
Yeah.
Is that where you got like a jacket or
I
something?
think so, yeah.
Yeah, for $280.
Yep. It'd have been PlayerUnknown's code or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
probably. Yeah, what the
Those were going for a lot of
I think
money.
I saw one of these ones is going for like $600 or something, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
well, there's different rarities. So they talked about adding new crates, right? And they're like, here's some more crates. The default ones that you want to get for free are similar to the ones that are already in the game in terms of the types of items you get. However, the premium one, which is for Gamescom, so it seems like a limited run item, includes a whole bunch of items that are inspired by Battle Royale, the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So like all the various different characters in Battle Royale, you can effectively dress up as and look like them.
Fuck yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And I would
actually.
fucking pay for that
Yeah,
shit.
man.
Yeah.
Immediately, I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking doing it. I don't care. Even if it's a tactical disadvantage to look like I'm wearing a school
Yeah.
uniform, I don't give a
Fuck
shit.
yeah, man. I love that movie.
Yeah,
same.
exactly.
Yes.
And then my favorite part about it is that in the commentary, in the patch notes about it or the blog post about it, they're like inspired by the movie Battle Royale. I'm like, wait, so you didn't get the license? Wait, so you're talking about it like you're obviously saying that you're copying? Wait, what? What's the deal? Like,
There's gonna be some lawsuits thrown around there.
probably, but they got no fucking money, man. Did you hear
It's
that?
just
they're-
costumes.
They're now
What
they're now the top
Yeah.
fucking played game apart from Dota. On
Yeah,
Steam.
or the top played non-Valve game. Yeah.
They overtook CS though.
Oh,
It's
wow.
overtaken CS.
Wow.
Isn't
I mean,
that
like
fucking
as
amazing?
we talked about though, like it has become one of those games that everyone who
Yeah.
plays games either knows about it, plays it, or watches it.
It's a
Like,
cultural zeitgeist,
yeah,
man. It's
fucking
just
everywhere,
swarming through
man.
the game's
He
world.
must be so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Brendan Green's like, yeah, all right. He's Irish.
How much money do you think he has?
Lots.
Like at least $20.
Yeah.
They also added the first
Not as
person
much as
mode
us.
to the game, which you guys have potentially been.
Oh, the
hearing
hardcore
about.
mode.
Yeah,
or
hardcore mode.
Hardcore mode.
That's
and
only
all
in
its-
North America and I think European
Europe,
servers.
yeah, and
But you
Australia.
have the option to tick a box that says first person only mode. And I read a blog post today that said first person mode shows how truly horrible PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds really is. And they went to great lengths describing how, the playing area it doesn't feel designed. There's no way to go cover to cover
Yes,
often.
fair enough,
It's
yeah.
almost like it's just plopped down in the middle of the field and you're just running over the top of a tabletop. And I'm like, yeah, I can understand how
Yeah,
that's an
That's
issue.
true. That's true.
But it's
I mean,
kind
it
of-
definitely wasn't designed to be a first person.
Definitely not.
No.
Like it's never been the case. You can still turn and look around and all that stuff, but it's still very much more closet. Like storming buildings is a lot harder. To be honest, I can understand the why. I haven't played enough of that game, perhaps, to be on the side to be like, I wish it was more hardcore. But I like the level that it's at with
Yeah, same.
the third person.
good.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good balance of fun.
Huh.
And if anything else, the first person mode is kind of going to be like for tryhards, and then
Ah,
the tryhards go over there, and I'm just like, I'm going to drive this car off this cliff.
I was gonna say, imagine driving the car first person.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
exactly.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't like that at all. Don't like that at all.
The death by buggy all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, well, that's 90% of my deaths anyway. But the game itself, obviously, seeing quite a lot more success. There's plenty more patches to come. A lot of people are angry about the blind boxes because they talked about it not being in the game until it was full release.
The blind
And
boxes?
they were like, yeah, we're going to do
The-
paid
oh,
cosmetics.
yeah,
Paid cosmetics after release. And they're like, actually, paid cosmetics before release because we have fucking millions of players. We're not going to not
Get some
charge the
money
money,
out, yeah.
you crazy fools. And everyone's like, I feel betrayed. And it's like, well, you know what? You shouldn't have bought a fucking early access game. It's in the text. It just says things may change. It's right there in the big old disclaimer. So,
But
you
I
know.
mean, like, do you like? Why are you upset?
I don't know.
Why are you mad?
It's such a. It's
don't
just
have
a
to
game.
buy
It
it.
doesn't have to be mad.
Exactly. You don't have to buy it. It's cosmetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in PlayerUnknown's, cosmetic items are like even more invaluable than any
Yeah.
other
Exactly.
game.
There's-
Like, they're
if
completely
it was
useless.
a ghillie suit, I understand.
Yeah.
But you're fucking buying a yellow tracksuit. It makes you stand out. If you want to do it, do it.
Pay to lose.
Exactly.
Like,
If you're gonna do it, go ahead.
I'm gonna do it
Yeah, for
because,
sure.
like, you want to be at that starting area, walking around, as you said, like,
Like,
schoolgirls
I'm
outfit.
fresh, son.
Yeah, like, fuck
Check
yeah.
it out. Splatoon all over again, man. Let's do it. But that's PUBG.
Still no cover jumping loot.
No, that's not out
vaulting?
yet. They've talked about it in plenty, but then as you can imagine, that's a pretty major change to make to the game. So there's a lot of map.
They're probably like, oh, this would be so good, and then they're like,
wait a minute, we've got
Our code is terrible.
We've got an 8x8 kilometer map on top of a game which is barely strung together with spaghetti code. What are we gonna do?
God, I would love to see the code for that game. I reckon it's absolute horseshit.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Like-
Well, I mean, I'm sure they've got some talented people working on it now,
Yeah.
but like,
But
when
it's
it
like
was-
any of those sort of things. Like once you start it, you don't redo it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you just build on it, and you're like, don't worry about that spider web over there. It works.
It's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't know
poke it too
how.
much.
Yeah, exactly. But it does. But yeah, that's PUBG. That's your PUBG update. It's still going well. I'm sure it'll still continue to go well. I really want to know how long it is until other games start being like, it's your Battlegrounds mode.
Oh,
You know,
next generation of
Splatoon,
games.
Battleground,
Yeah.
100 squids. You know,
I'm
that,
surprised Battlefield doesn't already have it.
yeah,
or
I mean,
try
they
to
already had
incorporate
big
it.
player accounts, but it's just the
Yeah.
whole instant permadeath thing, which is so kind of counterintuitive. As is the case with so many of these games, which become so important, right? Like, it doesn't make sense, and yet everyone loves it. That's why Dota is successful,
Yep.
and
Yep.
so is that. New things on the SNES Classic. Pre-orders came out on Walmart for a week and then cancelled everyone's pre-order,
Yeah.
making everyone very angry.
Why?
Did they say why?
They fucked up. They accidentally posted the thing too early. A whole bunch of people freaked out because the SNES Classic is going to be impossible to get, and there's already a fever pitch of demand for this thing. And then they cancelled everyone's pre-order, so everyone's mighty pissed. It's just a nice little short hit there for you. Don't pre-order games or classic consoles. Quick Dota hit as well. There was an update which introduced new players only matching with people who have consistently high behavior scores.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
So
That's good. I
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
it's a good idea, right? So if you're a new player, you come into the game, you're not going to get matched up with someone who's like, go mid, you piece of shit, and then you fucking suck and uninstall.
Did you
I
see
wonder-
also? Oh,
But like,
sorry, go
why are they even trying to hide it? That's what I
Yeah,
want to know.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, you go first 25 games, everyone's nice and happy. 26th
Yeah,
game,
like, here, have
whoa!
this candy.
Yeah.
And then the next guy's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't they just do that for everyone?
I wonder what metric they use though. Like how
Yeah.
many like can
No reports,
What are they
I
called?
guess.
the reports?
Player behavior report or
Yeah,
whatever.
what's
right?
what are the good things you can give?
Oh, commends, yeah.
Commends, yeah. So like, how many
Yeah.
commends do you need to be?
I wonder. I wonder if the commends even are that important. It's probably more just lack of reports, right?
So,
Yeah.
but that's what I was gonna say. It's like it only takes one.
yeah, true.
Everyone gets pissed off,
Yeah.
and it's just that sometimes you're like,
They've
that
got-
guy's just a dick.
They've
I'm
got to
gonna blame
have some kind of filtering mechanism there, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure people have been angry enough to report me for things, and I've
Yeah.
barely ended up in low.
Yeah.
I don't think I've never ended up in low priority as a
No,
result of
neither.
reports.
And you know they always come up with a report thing saying like you've had 0
Zero,
to 3 or whatever.
and I like how it looks like a heart.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, that's right. I'm a good guy. I'm a nice person.
I want to see. I'm assuming Rob probably has one that's like red. Actually, maybe.
Oh, 100%.
yeah, I don't know. There's not enough time in Dota to be in.
Yeah.
You know,
true.
you can't.
At
Rocket
one
League.
stage, he would have.
Yeah.
I was just going to quickly say as well in Dota, did you guys see they added some strings for a new hero's
Yes.
shit.
abilities?
Yeah, and on top of
Oh,
that,
shit.
recently prior to the international group stage starting, they had a big chat with all the players and stuff. And one of the things they were talking about is like, yeah, we want to make the whole process of adding new heroes much quicker. It's
Quicker,
been
yeah.
way slower than it needs
You know what was
to.
the last one?
It was
Last year,
Monkey King.
International, yeah.
Monkey King. And so they want to make that more
Underlord?
transparent and stuff.
Yeah, double.
Yeah, it was yeah, that was,
Was
a
it
double
double?
header,
Was it
right?
double?
I
Yeah.
thought that was the year before.
No,
Maybe
it
I'm
was
crazy.
they were supposed to do it the year before.
Yeah,
They
and
fucked
they
it up. They're
fucked it
like,
up.
screw it, next
Oh,
year,
yeah, that's
next
right.
year.
That's right.
That's
Put
right.
to spend all this money, may as well use it,
It
right?
seems like Monkey King's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
But also not in a
Well,
way.
it's just the hate level.
Yeah.
Is like,
Yeah.
yeah.
For me, it's almost. I feel like it came last major for some reason.
Yeah.
Time has been going way too quickly for me, though. That's
Time
a whole
is-
different
yeah.
thing. Final bit of news. AM2R developer, so AM2R is another Metroid 2 remake that was incredibly successful and then immediately pulled off the internet by Nintendo.
Fucking Nintendo, man.
Yeah, but it's still up there, you know, if you know where to look. But he's been hired by Moon Studios, the people who make Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, cool.
Right, so he is now going to be working on that game, and I just thought that was a nice little kind of cool bit of news hit because if someone deserves a bit of recognition, it's him. Obviously, he's good at what he does, and Ori is a perfect Metroidvania style game that kind of reinvents the formula a bit. so-
AM2R does look like I can see why they pulled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's another Metroid 2 remake. It's the name of the game. It's very much modernizing Metroid 2, and it's something that I want to play because I never did. It brings it up to like SNES standard, and because the NES games are a little bit more clunky and kind of shit. But it's a really really good remake, so definitely worth a play if anyone's out there. Is a sweet hot Metroid fan, man boy, I guess. Anyway, we got an email. We got an email this week. That's right. We have an
Can't
email.
believe we have a fucking email.
Yeah, we got an email. So send us your email at podcast@wepressbuttons.com
Correct.
or use the contact form on the website. And that's, in fact, where this email came in from. So let me just pull it up. You got it right here. Email is from Lando. All right. That's not a moniker.
Lando.
Yo, sup. Yo, sup. Hey, question here. What game of you are you each currently considering yourself addicted to? And what is your staple game, if that makes sense, / is any different?
Well,
KK,
Yeah.
later.
nice.
Yeah, nice.
I like how direct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
you can
you
probably
know.
fill the blanks, but
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we kind of covered that, but
I think we covered it all in this episode.
well, see, I don't know. Like,
100% Dan.
well, Dan has Splatoon,
Splatoon.
like my addiction right now, is Splatoon.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm
but the
hands
staple
up.
is always Dota.
See, yeah, I don't
No?
know. Like,
Oh, maybe not for you, actually.
Well, I mean, like the staple is Dota. Like going back to it for sure,
Dota,
as a solid thing. But like
At the moment,
not
probably PUBG,
consistently.
we could say.
the thing is, it's probably
Rocket
more of like a
League.
multiple. It's a whole packet
it's
of
a Rocket
staples.
League,
Yeah.
it's a Dota, it's a PUBG.
Yeah, I'd say. But the thing is, like, we've always had a main game, right? It's always been like, oh, it's TF2 and StarCraft,
side
and then
games.
StarCraft and
I guess then
something else.
Dota, yeah.
For
And then,
me,
you know,
if-
one of them gets shifted out. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we stopped playing TF2 because we started playing
Overwatch,
Dota 2
yeah.
is still, and for me as well, absolutely still the old flame. You know,
Yeah.
it's the old standby. It's always there. It's not going away, and
It'll hate you as much
Yeah.
as it did yesterday.
yeah, I've invested way too much time. You know, I had a discussion today with a guy who just started at my workplace, and he picked up the fact that I was a video gamer, and he was like, "Oh, are you watching any of the internationals?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm not going to be here on Thursday and Friday because I'm going to be watching the internationals." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, so you like that game?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've played like 3,000 hours." And he's like, or I'm like, "Yeah." Is the right response. It's not good. It's not something to be proud of. But look, it's the standby. It's totally good. But
Yeah.
like,
Is there anything, okay, with the addiction one, something that we haven't talked about much, but just every now and again you go back and you're like, yeah.
well, like something that's like a little bit more of a.
For me, I gotta say, I think I'm addicted to like football manager games.
Yeah, like, yes, you
I
are.
love. It's always the 2 a.m. What's Simon up to? I was managing a football team.
yeah.
Why the fuck not? Now's the
great.
time, I guess.
I did during the Steam sales buy the newest one.
Oh, why not, man? It's
Yeah.
actually something to
2017?
enjoy.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's great.
What's new?
It's really good.
Player roster.
Yeah, new player roster.
Fuck yeah.
I think there's like create a team mode thing now, which is kind of cool.
New coach's house?
Yeah, I guess.
Wait, you get to hang out in the coach's house?
No.
Oh, fuck, man. That's next
Manager's
year.
room.
That's next
There's
year.
different styles of managing now, apparently.
Oh, cool.
I haven't worked
Is
that
one
out yet.
dictatorship?
Top down and flatline.
No, no.
You
one,
can choose what you, wear.
You choose your disciplinary tool. You know, you get a whip.
Sick.
That's right.
I don't know. There's a few different things. I haven't gone too
Do you
far
have,
into it.
do you
but-
have crates you have to pay for in order to unlock gear that you can wear?
Oh, no.
The sweet coach's glasses.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
You don't even wear them. You just put them in the front of your shirt.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's what
That's what they're
coaches
there
do,
for,
man. Yeah, they hang out. But
But yeah,
I'd say there's a three
there's an
category
addiction
there.
in that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I totally
for me.
agree.
I like how you said that, and our response is like, "Of course you have an addiction to that."
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all
Seen
know
you.
that. So,
Hey, man.
we've got the banner
And
out
fishing
the back.
games.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
fishing
an
games,
entirely
for
different
sure.
addiction. Yeah, that's
That's just free to play games.
yeah. The man is addicted. Yeah.
At
Like
the
I think-
moment, the only other thing I'd say for me is probably Zelda.
Yeah.
Like, it comes in waves where I'm like, I have time, and I'm like, I really want to play some fucking Zelda. But then you start playing Zelda, and you play it for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck.
Yep. Time disappears. And that's why I say Splatoon is the same thing for me, especially partially because like I literally had a moment in the last week where I was having trouble putting the game down. It's very much on a degree which you know how you play a game of Dota or a game of Rocket League in your peak performance times, and you say to yourself, oh, we can't go out in a loss, right? There's no way we can go out in a loss.
Yeah, 100%.
Splatoon has that magnified by 1,000%. Because there's a whole bunch of different things that you can aim for. It's either you're ranking up, or your weapon is about to level. Sorry, your gear is about to level up, or something's about to end because the maps only last for 2 hours and then they rotate out. And so what happens is you find the maps have just rotated out because it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon or whatever. I'm playing a little bit. I'm like, this is really good. Oh, I'll just level my gun up. Oh, sorry, I'll level this hat up to max, and then I'll stop playing. And then I level my hat up, and I'm like, cool, it's almost done. And then I lose a game. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go out and win. And then I'm like, I lose another game. I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking go out and win. This particular afternoon, I lost like 10 in a row, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking go out and win. I'm gonna go out and win. And then the maps changed, and I'm like, I've been here for 2 hours, and it didn't feel like anything beyond like 30 minutes. And I was like, this is fucked up, but I'm not going out, not on a win. I sat there for like 3.5 to 4 hours to the point that my girlfriend was like, I asked you to put the washing on like 3 hours ago. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Nice.
That's an addiction.
I
man.
had to walk away from
That's
it.
100%
Yeah.
addiction.
100% addiction. Now, that is addiction, and I can recognize that. Dota is the
Nice.
old standby.
Yeah.
You know?
No, this is the fresh. This is the crystal meth.
It is.
It's
This is
new.
the hot shit you
New.
need to get more of in order
Yeah.
to fuel it. But yeah,
I wonder how
it's-
long it lasts.
Yeah, look, it's.
I mean, you're in pretty deep, so
I'm in
you gotta
pretty deep.
crawl out of
yeah.
the hole at some
like
point.
I definitely burnt out. Like in that week, because I went so hard, I did take a step back for a day and I came back to a little bit more tempered. It came to the actual Splatfest and I was like, okay, during the Splatfest, you get more rewards after the event, depending on who won. Either way, you get the rewards, but depending on who won, you get a whole bunch of these very valuable items. And if you level yourself up to different ranks of Condiment King, Queen, or supporter, or whatever, and I became the King of Ketchup, just by the way. And in that was good because I was much more relaxed about it, because it was more like a grind of just like, I'm just going to play some and just chill and talk to the girlfriend, because I was playing the non-competitive modes as well. Whoa, I must have just knocked something.
What's the channel?
Oh, and we're back. But yeah, so like I relaxed
See
and
this waveform.
I've chilled out, and now it's not so much of a burning addiction. It's more of a slow, like, I'm going to go play some Splatoon. If you someone else gets it, like that's...
Definitely hear that.
I think where I'm saving myself a little bit
I'll
for.
I'll reignite your passion when I get it.
You will.
The way you describe it, that reminds me of playing WoW, where you're kind of like, I'll just finish this like set of quests so I can hand them all at the same time, and then in doing that you find like one extra one. You're like, oh, now I gotta go here, and then there's like 4 quests down. I'll just do those as well.
It's
and then like 4 hours later, you've leveled up 3 times.
It's
like,
the breadcrumb effect, man. It's again partially because there's so many goals. Secondly, because the match is only 3 minutes long, and thirdly, because of that weird arbitrary fucking restriction, which makes you sit in the goddamn match until the match is done. And the thing isn't like, I want to play another game. It's either continue or exit. I'm like, yeah, dude, continue, because I always continue. That's my thing, right? And then
sometimes you gotta exit though.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Is that when do you fucking get off the boat, man? Do you get off in the lost? You don't fucking get off the lost.
Does it have a thing where it's like, hey, you've been playing this?
No, Nintendo, I think they've realized their mistake. That shit isn't in there anymore. You just got to fucking go for it. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and oh man, it's bad.
Now they reward you. They're like, you've been playing for 3 hours straight. Good job.
What's another 3
Have a
minutes?
hat.
What's another 3 minutes,
Yeah.
really? You really want that shit? It's great, yeah. And then the co-op mode is available only in certain hours. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking about Splatoon.
So many fucking weird
It's
restrictions.
weird. It's really weird.
Like-
It pays off, though, man. Splatoon. Get
I
the
tell you, man,
amiibos.
it's
Get the amiibos. It's good. Only $160.
they're doing this.
It's so fucking good. It's the best. I'm so happy. Splatoon. Get it.
Okay.
The podcast is done.
Oh, get it.
Let's get the fuck out of here. This has been We Press Play from your friends at WePressButtons.com, episode number 70-something. 72?
I'm pretty sure I just realized in like the last couple of minutes. I think it's 73.
Episode number 73.
Sick.
Episode number 73. Thanks for listening. I've been Dan. I've been your host, and I've been joined by James Carman,
Goodbye.
Simon McDowell,
Fairly well.
and Morgan Cave back next week.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll
We'll see.
see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Unless it's like
I
jet
mean,
lagged.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
maybe he'll be pushing Splatoon as hard as you are.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back with another podcast next week. Stay tuned for the hot international results. Don't watch the stream. Wait for us
Quick,
to tell you.
who's going to win?
EG. No. Liquid. No.
I think Liquid.
No.
I have a
I'm
feeling.
going to say...
I'm gonna say
I'm going
DC.
to say VP. Fuck it.
I'm gonna say DC.
VP.
Real fucking ringers.
DC.
They're gonna come out of
Man.
the. They're gonna come out of the.
What
losers
about,
bracket.
what are the
Strike
execution?
saving.
what is it?
Execration.
Execration, sorry. Yeah.
Hey man, if they
No,
win, I'll be very
fucks.
happy.
Go on.
They got this shit.
All right.
Take
Bye.
our love, take our power, take it easy. We'll see you next week.
Bye.